This is Snakes and Otters, a pointless discussion of eternal questions. Get ready. We're about to live in your head rent-free.
Hello, Otterites.
I am Martin,
And I'm Robert.
And I'm Francis, sitting in the captain's chair this time here.
and we're short three voices, as you heard.
But we're back to the originals.
Yeah.
That's right,
OGs.
OG.
That's
Yep.
right.
We've not done this in 2.5 years.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Yeah, this
2.5 years. Although this is the third month in a row where it's just been three of us.
Three of us.
But you know, that's the beauty of the system, guys. That's
Yeah.
right. You
Fall
know, that
turns
one-
into kind of a weird, busy harvest, everything, for the guys. So, reasons for absences. Hand over heart for the poor Imperator.
Yes.
Yes.
He has a longtime pet that is likely to
Has
be-
Pat? No, I just saw the text. The pet has passed.
Yes. So, on the Rainbow Bridge for Diesel. Correct.
Yes, Diesel the cat, 14 years old, so long life. But the cat was their sons who died.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is very emotional.
It's a very hard day
Uh,
for the
yeah.
Imperator.
It's that
and
one
the
of those last
heretics.
links to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
it's,
not making up
so-
a goof story for him today. It was a real.
Right.
a rocky, a huge,
real-
huge chasm in the rocky road. That
Yes,
has been
yes.
since that
Our
time.
hearts and prayers
always
are there for him.
always
and,
with him
I mean,
and the Imperatrix.
the Imperator and the Imperatrix are, oh my gosh. I don't know that I could handle all the stuff they've had to deal with.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
correct.
it's a battering of the seashore.
Right.
Yeah.
kinda
We've
thing.
we've talked of it as it's happened. That's right.
Yeah.
You all rights. You've been there as well as we've come through the saga.
It's just unimaginable in some ways. But anyways, so our hearts out to him and certainly prayers for him and the
Yeah.
family.
And Cajun not with us today. Mrs. Cajun has some sort of seafaring malady.
yes, he's taking care of the pirate. queen.
Yeah, very commendable. Very
Yes.
commendable. He's looking after the pirate queen, Mrs. Cajun. And Brother Andre is on a mission trip, the outer reaches of Manitoba, Canada, feeding the poor, which I guess in Canada means handing out Tim Hortons,
Something like
something
that.
like that.
That's right. That's
So-
very alien to the
So
rest of us.
Brother Andre will be back soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Oh yeah, he
uh,
loves. They all love doing this.
Yes,
we'll catch them all soon.
And this is the first time Francis has been back in 2 months as well.
It has. It's just been a wild, strange time of various different things that just keep coming up and smacking us in the face. So, as Mike Tyson would say, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face. That's kind of where
I have
where I've
seen
been.
people reference that a ton lately.
I have too. It's brilliant. It's. I mean,
I presume they all listen to us,
well,
and
of
that's where
course,
it's come back.
absolutely.
That's where it's
Yeah,
come
yeah.
from.
Well, hey, Von Mulkey was good, but ain't nobody like the Mike.
That's right.
Yeah.
So in your absence, we did a trio, a semi OG style,
Yeah,
anyways, just
yeah.
three of us. I think Brother Andre acquitted himself quite
Oh,
nicely.
yes,
did great.
He is
He did
amazing.
great.
He's one of my
Yes,
heroes.
He,
as we
he
know.
stepped up because listeners, the three of us, the OG, we tend to get carried away in conversation.
You
and
think so?
Kind of dominate things too often.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
try to hold back, but I start out that way, and then somebody will say something I got to talk about, and
No.
then all hell is
All
broken
three of
loose.
us do that, and boy, together, dogs
Yeah.
and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brother Andre, yeah, I'm hoping that this will help him when we're all together again. Speak up more often because he
Yes.
had to get into that.
Yeah,
for this last
absolutely.
Yeah.
one.
I value his presence very greatly.
Yes.
In the short time that I've known him, I say it on here on air many times. He's just like the nicest, kindest human being I think I know.
Amen.
Oh,
to
yeah,
that.
And,
absolutely.
And just so, Brother Andre, it's cool, brother. Just talk.
That's right.
Jump in. Tell the rest of us to shut up and get at it.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
we value your presence. And,
Yes, this is the Indianapolis 500. If you don't hit the accelerator, you get runs over.
Well, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
So Francis, what are we doing today?
Oh yeah, and hey,
because you're captain.
that's right. New plan, totally new plan. We
Pivot.
don't care. We don't care what they told you last episode because it ain't the case. Because this morning we made an executive decision. Robert and I had breakfast, a great breakfast at Wagner's,
Wagner's,
which
yes.
is right near the
Oh.
track.
Right across from the infield entrance.
so
Absolutely.
did you get some details from the interior for me? Because I want to.
Well, I mean, yeah, we will need to have a conversation.
Yes. The you mean as far as tips for the track?
No.
Oh.
The appearance.
Yeah,
I
because-
want to add some appearance
Because
details.
he's
yes,
got a
yes, yes,
scene,
yes, yes.
more
That's
than
right,
more than
that's
one
right.
scene.
No,
right?
just one.
Just one scene.
one cop
that
scene.
takes place in there. So
I had meant to take pictures just snap a couple real quick, and I forgot.
Yeah, but
I mean,
Well, we can still talk
this
about
is.
it.
I mean, we've been there a couple times before.
Oh, yeah, I've been there many
and
times.
it's fresh in our minds. So off air, we'll have a conversation. Tell us the scene, and we'll kind of help you walk through
And
what
we can
should,
sketch a layout too.
yeah, what should be seen, what should not be. How do you do that?
Right. I just need a couple of details to give it some realness.
That's
Because
right.
I've got the menu is online.
Oh,
So
that's
what?
good.
So what? The
I've
top orders.
I've done that stuff before. Yes,
is that's available. So that's in there. But
that's
just
good
a
writing,
couple
by the
of-
way.
a
When you're
scene.
using those real places, I mean, I'm work out. The book 4 is going to be in Israel, and I've got a restaurant that an early scene takes place in, and I went and got the damn menu. It was in Hebrew, mind you, but click, you could get the English version, and hey, that's what they order.
Is the menu still the same? I mean,
I-
the stories are set 40 years ago.
I know we're doing a little wink, wink, shake.
All right,
shake,
all right,
okay?
yeah.
The building was definitely there, and it is an older restaurant. I do know that.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
you just got to go with it.
That's like I have several scenes set, both in the nonfiction that I published, the creative nonfiction, as well as the book, the fiction book, at Sister Beans, which now, of course, is called The Well, but I prefer Sister Beans.
But hey,
So-
you're the author. You can
I can
be
call it
as
whatever I want.
That's right. You can be as realistic. It's just those things are fun, and I always mention them in the author's note at the
Yes.
end. Red Eagle's coming out next year. I do have. I think I've told
That's
you guys
right.
that. That's
You've signed the second contract.
Oh
right?
yeah, second contract's been signed for a while. They're working on the edits probably as we speak right now. I should have them in a week or so, and he's hoping to have it out by LibertyCon, which is in beginning of June. He says can't promise.
Mid-June. I think it's mid-June.
Okay, yeah. He says we're going to plan on doing that. He says, but if it's not actually out, it's going to be razor close, so you can promote it. So, folks, I'll be talking, dropping that in as it comes. But that takes place partially in South Dakota, Rapid City, and and the restaurant where a big scene happens is where Emily and I ate in 2019.
There you go.
So
And it may not have existed back then, but that's okay.
the building did, because I know that building's older than that, because it's only only
Sure.
talking about 30 years. But it really. How far have we gone and haven't mentioned the damn title yet, the topic yet?
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So yes,
We're notorious
It was
for
a
that.
It's
pivot.
nearly a hoopajube kind of an episode
Yeah,
because
it
we're
is.
pivoting so much.
Yeah, we're pulling a Ross Geller here, and we're doing a pivot. And Francis, I'll give you the honors of announcing.
Oh yeah, I don't know how we haven't talked about this up till now. We know here we are, 250 some odd episodes in. We're going to do a Monty Python episode. We are experts in Monty Python. I like to think we've been talking about Monty Python since college.
Well, and every episode, if it doesn't have a Star Trek reference, it's certainly got a Monty Python reference.
Well, absolutely. So
yeah,
why in the
almost
world?
certainly.
Why in the world aren't we doing Monty Python? We've not. We've even compared ourselves because let's face it, there were 6 Pythons and there's 6 of us.
That's true.
So
Well, I mean, let's not get carried away.
why not? I think it's absolutely perfect. Because trust me, every one of us is going to be one of them. Okay, it's just kind of a thing, and I'll get a posting online with regards to this. And
Right, we say that, but we've not touched the blog in
we haven't. That's
over a
right,
year.
and it needs to
Yeah.
be. So trust me, I can tell you who each one of you guys are, and each one of us are. So watch the blog post for
okay.
that. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, that's right.
Well,
Stop being silly.
I'm pretty sure I know who he is.
Go ahead and say it.
Graham Chapman.
Absolutely. That's exactly
I'm
right.
Graham.
You are Graham Chapman.
I'm
There's
honored.
No question. That's right. That's easy. The rest of us will just have to figure all that out. But yeah, you're Graham Chapman. Which hey, it was when Chapman passed that it didn't fall apart because the other guys were kind of willing to continue, but they said there's no way he was so essential.
Yeah.
He was so
Well,
critical.
they weren't really doing a whole lot at that point anyway.
Well, they had finished the, and we're kind of starting at the back end and working our way backwards, but they had finished Meaning of Life, which was the last of their original.
You're right. The
last of
3
their-
big films.
3 big
yeah.
films. The last one, and Chapman was sick not long after that.
Yeah.
And they knew that. I mean, you can still find John Cleese's the eulogy that he did at Chapman's funeral, and Cleese will say at the time, he said when he first met Chapman, he didn't even like him, but they turned out to be the absolute best friends and some of the best collaborators because so much of the genius, it was all of them. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but Chapman and Cleese together were like Lennon McCartney, that sort of thing, or
Chapman was a lot of the glue.
he
to
was.
the
He
thing.
really was. Yeah.
And that's not to take away from Jones and Gilliam as
Not at all.
driving creative forces as well.
You know,
'cause
every
they
one
were
of
very important in the development of the film.
well, and of course, and then because they're on the production side, very much so. I mean, Terry Jones was the producer and the director of, I think, Holy Grail and Life of Brian. I know he was. But I'm trying to remember if he who directed Meaning of Life. It may have been Terry Jones. I'd have to check, but I know he did the first two. And to be honest, those first two movies are the gold standard, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Meaning of Life it's a sketch movie.
It is, that's where they started. They had
I mean,
they had some great strength there, but
it's not entirely unlike the History of the World.
oh yeah,
in
no,
that
Brooks.
Yeah, I mean it's Kentucky Fried Movie, History of the World, so it's they're not alone in attempting that
That's
sort of
that
deal,
sketch format, yeah.
tying the sketches together.
And those
over
were
a
all,
theme.
those were all in a short period of time. They were all around that time for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean that's like
Kentucky Fried Movie was
77 or 78,
Yeah.
something like that.
And now for something completely different is 71. Holy
Yeah.
Grail is 75. Life of Brian is 79.
Yeah,
And Meaning of
Life
Life
was, what,
is
80?
Live at the Hollywood Bowl. Forgot that one.
Right.
82 and Meaning of Life is 83.
Yeah, and that was because the
Live at the Hollywood Bowl is amazing.
yeah, and
I
that's
love
just
it.
but then again, that's just sketches. That's just
Yeah.
a live version.
It's a
of the
live
sketches.
performance film.
And now for something completely different is a collection of the
Yes.
sketches from the Flying Circus. So I don't know that I can say that their strength was in sketches. It's like, are you a better short story writer or a better novelist? And then the answer, in my opinion, is both.
Yeah.
I mean, they proved that they could do that very, very well. I mean,
They could do either one. They could do a long form,
Yeah.
make it fly.
The sketch. They're two different styles. The
Yeah.
sketches, I think, are their more absurd things.
well, yeah, the Dead Parrot sketch is
Yeah,
still
or
absolutely the most.
the Department of Silly Walks.
Oh, yes,
Stuff like that. But
The upper class twit. I mean, we can go on.
I love upper.
yeah, but Life of Brian and Monty Python. I mean, those are the two I think most people think of when they think of
Yeah,
the movies.
Holy Grail and Life of
Right.
Brian. Those are
So-
the two, and those are our favorites. I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
Life of Brian is my personal.
and
Top.
I think I would agree with you on that one there.
Um,
It supposedly was sacrilegious, and I think absolutely not. I think you're just not.
I can see where people get that.
I mean,
Obviously,
yeah, because you're not getting the point.
That's exactly
Like,
right.
It's
That's
it's
exactly
not
right.
an attack on religion. It's an
actually-
attack on what we do around religion and
That's
what
correct.
we claim religion is, but isn't.
That's right. I mean, it's amazingly brilliant. I think one of my favorite scenes it was an interview. It was in England. It was a talk show, a late night talk show, and they had it was Palin and Jones. Pretty sure it was Jones, maybe an Idol, that were there. With the Archbishop of Canterbury, I think it may have been the Archbishop of York. So don't get me wrong on that. But they and it was just amazing how they tried to attack them for being disrespectful and all this stuff. And they did exactly what you just said. Both of them were just, no, wait a minute, you guys missed the point here.
Yeah, you're missing the whole
You told
point.
him- and I never will forget this idiot Archbishop who was eventually arrested or who had to step down over a scandal, pulls out his cross, and he just goes into this thing, says, look at this cross. This is above, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? You're pretending that there are sheep out here that are actually so stupid they can't pick up on this, and that's an insult to every believer.
Yeah.
Or a non-believer for that matter.
It's
out there. And I'm
it's an
thinking,
insult to the faithful to
very
to
much
not
so.
be serious about
That's right. And
the real meaning.
it's
of-
almost
of the
like
faith.
here, look at the monkey, look at the shiny little monkey here, like they
Yeah.
did in South Park, and that's and I'm thinking, God, no wonder you. I mean, again, that's a sidebar, but it does explain very well
Right.
exactly what you're talking about.
So I guess we really didn't do this, but we should. What is Monty Python? For those that may not know in the audience, which
Oh
is
my
unlikely.
gosh, which is unlikely.
But
Well, they're legends. They're comedic legends. I think that's very fair.
It's six
Six guys,
guys that formed a
writing group,
writing
essentially.
group, a comedy
writing and
group.
performing, because
Yeah.
the intention was to pool their efforts in both halves, and not just writing but the performing.
That's right, because they were so tired of not having good content, and
Yes.
they all came through Cambridge, or was it Oxford? I don't remember. I'm not,
Uh,
Robert's got the thing called up so we can get that right. But they all met in college essentially, and they started
Oxford University.
That's what I thought. And they were performing in London in various ways in theater.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
Chapman and Cleese met at Cambridge, so it was both.
Both. Okay. I
both.
see. That's why I wasn't sure on this. There was, it's
Idol was so apparently they were at both. So half of them were at one, half of them were at the other.
and somehow they coalesced, with the
Yes.
exception of Terry Gilliam. We'll have to talk about him separately because he's a different animal in many ways.
Yeah.
But because he's American, he's not even not part of this. Yeah,
Not
not
a
part
Brit.
of this system at all. But he became, in many respects, he was the last. The scripture says, I did not know how empty I was until I was filled. They with his animation skills, he brought something very unique to the troupe that differentiated them in many ways from everything else that came along. And they began writing sketch stuff together. And I know Robert's got the stuff in front of him of how they were able to convince the BBC to give them a TV series, and they had to come together. Watch myself hitting the mic here.
I was just sorry. A little bit of housekeeping here. Your cable keeps rubbing up against your arm here.
Wristwatch
Yes.
and your arm.
Yeah. So I'm just hearing it.
Yeah,
so
I heard it
I was
as well.
just say take the blue there and pull it on the other side. There. Well, it may still do that.
Well,
We'll see.
hopefully I won't brush against it. But yes, they ended up. Long story short, they convinced the BBC because they had been writing for the BBC in various ways before, but they were doing this other stuff on their own, and they were still doing the live stuff together. And BBC at the time, this was 68, 69, Robert, I think it was, when Flying Circus premiered.
That's what I'm looking at the
Yeah.
pre-flying circus right now.
Yeah.
Hang on just a second.
Yeah, because that's kind of where it became. Monty Python was
But
a real thing.
Yeah, it was a late '60s. So it's counterculture, but a different take on the counterculture.
It is.
It's
It's
not-
very critical of British society in particular.
Yeah.
Hugely critical, and it's hilariously so. That's one of the reasons that American listeners and watchers of this, it's almost like a tone shift, especially for modern day readers, to get
Yeah,
into the
I-
quote unquote British humor. They are the ones that say, British humor is you got to develop a taste for it. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the great thing about them is a lot of the stuff is hilarious on its face.
Correct.
But
yeah.
if you know something about Britain and British culture,
yeah.
then it's a whole other level. Like upper class twit of the year is physical comedy
Uh-huh.
that's just hysterical. But if you know something about the rigid class system of Britain
Yep.
and what it's striking against, then it's a whole other level of
Social
absurdity
commentary.
and
Yeah.
social
Yeah.
commentary
Yep.
that is like, well, that's just genius stuff.
And
So
that's
an
why-
American equivalent in that, because again, it's operating multiple. It's Bugs Bunny.
Oh yeah,
yeah, absolutely,
It's
yeah.
the British Bugs Bunny in that sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because
we all
which
learned.
we need to do an episode on.
Oh yes,
we all
do.
learned about opera because of Bugs Bunny.
That's right.
I
What's
mean,
Opera Doc?
Yeah, that's right.
The
know.
Barber of Seville.
Yeah, the Rabbit of Seville.
Rabbit of
and,
Seville. Yeah.
and What's Opera Doc? We know about classical music and opera because of Bugs Bunny, and it worked on both levels. It's reverent, but irreverent at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's physical humor and absurdity all at the same. It's all
And no
going
sacred
on.
cows.
It's right.
Yeah.
I like that word absurdity because they really, especially when it got to the two movies, Holy Grail and Life of Brian, they leaned into that very heavy
Yeah,
in the long form where everything is connected. Whereas before, with the sketch stuff, I mean, it gave them a certain amount of freedom that they could do who the hell knows what. And different guys, every one of them had their turn at we're going to do this. So when you see them in interviews and when you talk about especially the Flying Circus, that one was Graham's. He and Cleese, and they kind of developed their own writing style. That Cleese and Chapman would usually write their own sketches, and whereas Palin would work with Jones, and
Yeah.
Idle would just kind of come in. And of course, Gilliam is the animator. He's just doing, some of it's fill in.
It's connective pieces.
Yeah.
He was also very good at the the physical comedy pieces, the faces, the
Yeah.
the
voices.
crazy expressions and stuff like.
Yeah.
He would often not have a line in the sketches
Yeah.
because it would betray that he
That
did
he's
have a
American.
British accent.
That's right. Yeah.
But he would make these faces. The sketch, the Wizzo Chocolate Factory.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
he
the
has
Spanish
played-
Inquisition.
Yeah.
He's the sniveling one against Palin's.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Which still is one of the most brilliant of that, because that is a throughput through that episode. I mean, it's one of those things. It doesn't really have. It has its own sketch in the middle, but he appears. The three of them appear like whenever they want to, because that's the whole gag.
That's the whole point.
You never know when they're going to appear. So they've.
What strikes me about the two long form movies as opposed to the others, it really, if you think about that movie, they're all still a bunch of sketches.
It is. Yeah.
So when we were talking about that earlier, are they better at long form or are they better at sketches? It's all sketches.
Well,
it just so happens that for those two movies, they've managed to string together the sketches to tell a story. But if you think about almost every scene in both of those movies,
all set piece.
Well,
they can all stand alone.
Well, especially in Holy Grail, because it's the tale of Sir Robin, the tale of Sir Lancelot. They deliberately demarcate that one, whereas Brian just kind of.
Well, in Brian, I think it works too, because
Absolutely.
You could split off the. Don't do it again.
That's
the
right.
whole scene
Yes.
of writing the
Latin-
Romans
Latin
go
on
home.
the wall.
The Latin lesson is the
Yeah.
is the,
Yeah.
is the
is
sketch.
one.
That's right.
And then falling in on Jones as the hermit.
Yes,
And the gourd and the shoe. You could pull that piece out separate as well.
Yeah.
Jones going
was,
in to search the guy's house. All the
Found the
bum,
spoons.
bum, 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 bum.
That's right.
And
And Cleese and
what's the line in that? Crucifixion's a lark.
That's right. It's a dawdle.
It's a dawdle.
Crucifixion's a dawdle. You're weird. That's right. And that
Stop
was
saying that.
That was Jones and Cleese. Of course, Cleese is so much taller than Jones was, and it was really just kind of amazing to put the two of them together there. I'm sorry, that was one of the other actors. That was
one of the supporting guys.
Well, supporting guys. That's
He's
right.
an older guy.
He was Matthias, son of Deuteronomy.
Yes.
Who was supposedly almost to be stoned, but since it all went off, the stoning scene itself is still
Right.
it's
That's-
unbelievable.
That's definitely one that could be a standalone sketch.
Absolutely, and to me, I mean,
Jehovah.
and that was the brilliance of Cleese, and we'll talk about each of the guys. But Cleese is still, I mean, he's still out there. He's still relevant. He still does a lot of talking. They've even put out a Life of Brian play.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's now.
And I got to hand it to him because he has been unapologetic
That's right.
about the content.
Yes.
There's obviously a scene in Life of Brian that has become real life,
That's correct. That's right.
and there
Yeah.
was a lot of pressure
from,
to have
from
that
50
removed.
years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
It was
50
like,
years ago.
holy crap, they were way ahead of their
And
time.
way ahead of the time. That's
And
right.
so, we're not making any commentary on current events, but it's just it was satire at the time, because at the time it was considered ludicrous.
That's right.
To consider, and he has held his guns, saying, "No, we're leaving it in because it was
As relevant then as it is now. Yeah.
right." And it's one of those things now you're not allowed to make any fun of, which it wasn't.
Very well- that's very well
it
put,
holds
Robert.
the tradition of no sacred cows, and that's when
Exactly.
comedy is at its best.
That's right.
There are no sacred cows. Nothing is off limits.
And it was well written. It was very, very well
was.
written.
And it was well executed. Eric Idle's, trying not to crack up aside, because when you watch that closely, he's trying so hard not to lose it.
and because
well, and so is Cleese.
well, that's right. Because
I mean, because he's the guy. He's the one.
He's got to say all those
He's
lines.
gotta say it all.
because it was Reg is the one that does. I mean, and
It's symbolic of his struggle against reality.
To me, and that's one of the things that I think that the ensemble of these guys playing multiple
And
parts.
who was the woman who played Judith? I mean,
Carol Cleveland.
talk about somebody hanging in there.
Oh no, excuse me. That was another. I cannot remember the name.
I
who played
cannot remember-
Judith. No,
yeah.
Carol Cleveland was one of the ones. She's the one that played a Zoot.
Yes.
And
yes,
she
yes.
was one of the regular players in.
Whenever they needed an actual female
that's
and
right.
not just Jones dressed as a woman.
Or Idol,
Right.
but the
Or
two of
Idol,
those are
yeah.
usually the ones that dressed
Yeah.
up that way. Perhaps I'd like a French tickler, that one. That's Idol. That's doing all this stuff
Yeah.
here. What?
Then there's the younger one that holds up the holy gourd.
Yeah, that may have. I'd have to check. That may have been Carol. I don't think
I
so.
think that was. Yeah, I think that might have been Cleveland.
Yeah, but the
But
lady, the lady who
popped-
played Judith was a Welsh actress, and I cannot remember her name.
Yeah.
We'll have to check
But
that
I mean,
at some
talk
point.
about holding your own.
Well, she is because
Yeah, it was. She really did a whale of a job because I mean, she had to be kind of the straight pert man in a lot of that bit,
yeah.
She did,
And-
yeah.
and
yeah.
try to, all right, it's you're. We'll say that you can't have babies, and that's
Babies are
nobody's fault. Not,
Not
even
even
the
the
Romans.
But we
You
can
know, and-
fight for your right
right
to
to
have
have
babies. So
babies.
she's one of those.
trying to find that common ground. and-
She's a very clear zealot in many ways,
Yeah.
which of course that's for the glue that makes
Yes.
the entire narrative work. Brian obviously is got the hots for her, and it makes sense why he's drawn into
Right,
this because
right.
he's after her, and and he's just. That's one of the funny things. It's very Forrest Gumpian in a way, if that's even a word, because it's like the guy who falls into stuff all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Brian
yes,
is that,
Yes.
and he's also the one that gets mixed up with being Jesus, because they're around
a year early.
a year early, and they're
Yes.
about the same time. Of course, Jesus appears in he doesn't have a speaking. Well, actually, he does.
He
'cause
does.
He does the Sermon on the Mount.
Blessed are the cheesemakers.
That's right. Which, of course, we must remember is not to be taken literally, but it refers to
Any
any
maker
manufacturer
of
of dairy
dairy
products.
products.
That's right. God,
Yes.
we could the three of us. I know we could probably quote the whole bloody movie
Just
of
about,
those
yes.
two of the Holy Grail and Life of Brian in
What
particular.
happened to the popular font?
He's over there. Splitter. That's right. Yes, that's one of our favorites, which we use quite a bit.
But and then that raises it a whole nother level because then there's this whole political commentary
Yes.
beyond the religious commentary is this idea of, we don't see that a whole lot in the U.S. because our politics are driven towards consensus.
yeah.
you
Used to be.
know, but even in the parties, parties mutate a little bit here, but eventually, there's just two. And
Right.
Well, yeah.
and
there's no
but
way you
in
could
but
ultimately.
in European politics, you and I can agree on 90% of stuff, but on that 10%, I'm gonna go off and form my own party.
Right.
So then they end up in that parliamentary system lends itself to
It's very Protestant too.
having
We don't like what you say. We're going to do it ourselves.
do a whole different So you get Labor Party and Liberal Party, and it's like, well, what could be the difference between the two? You're the same thing, and then Green Party and the party that dresses like forest elves, and all this difference, and so it's a commentary on what they know. It's foreign
Yes.
to Americans, so you have to kind of know a little bit about European politics to kind of really get what that is. But that whole fragmentation of, well, we're the People's Front of Judea. Well, we're the Judean People's Front.
No,
What was our plan? Capture pilots,
why
kidnap
think that-
pilots, go
that's,
back and
that's our idea. We thought of it first. No, we did. How would you think of it? A couple of months ago.
and then Brian's in the middle going, we should be
We're
struggling together.
We are struggling together. No,
Like,
no,
no,
against
against the
Romans.
this whole
Oh,
idea.
right. The Romans. Yes, sir.
This whole idea of it's not good enough to work together. You have to get your own credit for whatever it is.
Well, which is a very
And it's-
human commentary.
Yeah,
in
this
its
whole
face on this whole
craziness.
fragmentation.
Francis and I kind of talked about a little bit of this at breakfast
Yeah.
about how in both parties in this country now
yeah.
there is a push for purity,
Yeah,
ideological
Oh, yeah.
purity.
ideological purity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And only because we don't have a tradition of third parties,
Yeah.
real third parties. I mean, I know libertarians and the Greens are going to be, well, you asshole. It's like, well, those guys probably aren't. Well, the libertarians might be listening to us. The Greens aren't.
No.
But still, though, they're not viable.
No, that's right.
I mean, they
because
just
No,
aren't.
again,
the
because
system
they're too
ultimately
fragmented.
excludes them.
Right. So
they must. You have to choose if you want
so
a
even
voice.
in that drive for ideological purity here, people just end up, in my opinion, I think they just end up silenced more so than
That's right, yeah.
going off and
you either adapt or you die.
right.
Politically speaking.
Yeah, sometimes there's crossover from one party to the other, but almost nobody tries to. I mean, Ross Perot aside,
Yeah.
tries to form a legitimate third party movement.
Right. I mean, in a European setting, in a parliamentary setting, Trump would have just formed his own party.
Right.
He would not have infiltrated and tried to mold the GOP into his own. Um,
Well, I don't know. I think he might have still tried to do that in the Conservative Party or wherever.
yeah.
Because I think for him, again, he the type of business he does, he's into buying and selling other businesses. Why would he start something new? He can just buy it. So so I think in that
Well,
sense,
right. I mean,
the same approach,
huge
yeah.
part of that, a huge part of his success, and whether you like him or not, you have to say, well, he's at least had some success. He got elected to the presidency twice, and that's something lots of other people haven't.
right
Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden didn't get elected twice. So,
now to be fair, Joe only ran once.
yeah.
Well, that's not entirely true. He did run other times. He was never the nominee more than once.
No, he was the nominee twice and then had to vacate.
No,
That's
convention hadn't happened.
Oh,
That's
he
right.
was the presumptive nominee.
That's right.
Correct.
Right.
Here it is. We're just a year later, and
words mean
we've
things.
already
Yeah, they
forgotten
do.
the
Yes.
details. That's right.
Yeah, presumptive nominee. So, I mean, it's just his success is a spring off of his wheeling and dealing business,
Which is not unlike politics to begin
Yeah,
with.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
it's the same
it's
thing.
but I think what you're trying to say, Martin, is that's an American iteration. It
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have worked in England in particular, or we could say France, but let's just use England for an easier
I mean,
example.
right? Generally, it's very unusual
It's harder to build
in
consensus over
Europe.
there.
It's harder to move into politics from business. Generally, they kind of you grow up in politics.
a-
Well,
it's
if
a
you're
class
not,
thing,
yeah,
which
but I mean, if you're not a lord of some kind, it's hard to move. Yeah, there's not that back and forth like there is here.
Yeah.
Because those guys, they're going to inherit their positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
Uh,
they're going to have stuff they're doing, but
Right.
they're not going to be
I mean,
active
to
CEOs.
get into commons, you're going to have some dough.
Right.
I mean, like Margaret Thatcher was not poor,
no.
So I mean, you have some ways of earning, but you generally don't. You're not doing a Trump where you're moving from this wheeler dealer head of corporations and then decide, you know what, doggone it, I'm going to go into politics.
Yeah, that's
You
yeah,
just
well
that just kind of doesn't happen in Europe.
because
You come
they are
up
very
in
class based.
politics. Yeah.
That's
Well,
right.
I think
and
one
I
of the
think that-
reasons, and I know this is not Monty Python, but this is fascinating how we've gone from Monty Python to structure of governments. But of course we have.
Well, they would. I mean, where else would you go? I mean,
Exactly. Where else would you
Well,
go?
yeah,
That's one of the things they commented on.
Right. One of the differences between our system, and we've not really ever talked about this, we just talked about, well, it's parliamentary versus republicanism. But because in a parliamentary system, governments can fall at any time. In
Yeah.
other words, they lose support of
Right.
the coalition. Or if it's a outright majority, which is very rare, depending on the system,
Yeah.
just enough members like, man, dude, you are really screwing up being prime minister, so you got to go. So
Vote of
it's-
no confidence.
vote of no
That's
confidence.
not possible in our system.
Right.
The
The vote of no confidence just happens regularly every 2 years.
That's right.
So when it comes to, I think that's why the parties form like they do over there, because we know that we can get rid of the guy we don't like if we just shift allegiances and alliances. Whereas here we have to wait. So there's really not
You
much
kind of have
incentive.
to, right? Like if the party pushes a guy to leadership,
Yeah.
you got to kind of live with him for a while.
You
or
do.
her.
That's right. They have supreme executive or at least legislative power.
But yeah, I mean, even
there
like
was no throwing of swords
right.
or anything.
I
of that sort.
mean, you get somebody like McConnell who moves to the Senate leadership position for his party, and therefore he's basically guaranteed to either be majority leader or minority leader until such time as either he doesn't want to do it or there's enough undercurrent in his own
discontent.
caucus
Yeah.
to push him out.
That's right.
In which case he would probably, to save face, step aside for some other. Oh well, I think it's time for a fresh face. It's time for my caucus to hear a fresh voice.
There's some
So
of
I'm
that.
going to move
Or
aside.
Or just flat out retire.
well, yeah, that's
or
right.
retire.
Or Trent Lott. I mean, he had a lot of that, and then things happened, and he's gone.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, yeah, you could make a huge electoral miscalculation, and the rank and file of your caucus blame you for it.
Yeah, there you go.
And
That's-
then, you'd have to think of some reason to step aside. Now, you'd give it the usual gloss of, well, I want to spend more time with my family, and
Yeah. Translated, Yeah, I'm not making as much money or have as much prestige.
Everybody
as I used
hates
to.
my guts now.
Trying to
Yeah.
save face, and hey, that's a very human thing. We
Yeah,
get
my
it.
kids really don't like me, so I'm not really going to spend time with
Yeah.
them. But yeah,
In the Senate, it's less frequent than in the House,
Which is
again,
by
we've
design.
seen-
By
we-
design.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that churn, and
yeah. When you churn only a third every election,
it's a lot more stable.
right, which was the point.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
the
they
point.
don't want that to be quite
So,
as much.
Yeah.
of a-
Yeah, we went through that kind of tumultuous speaker, and McCarthy couldn't kind of keep the group together and had to sort of give
Right.
it up.
Because
He didn't want to, but he kind of gave it up, and it's like,
Well, I mean, Boehner before him. I mean, we could go all
Oh,
the way
yeah,
back.
the House is the one that switches back and forth almost every midterm election now.
And then one of the few survivors throughout all that had been Nancy Pelosi, of all things. Even though she's finishing now, but she managed to stay in leadership for a long, long time, which is unheard of in the House.
Well, she was probably around long enough to know where all the bodies were buried,
Well,
so
she
that she
was.
could hang on to minority leader.
and their party tends to kind of stick together behind somebody, even when there's discontent.
Yeah.
Because there was discontent with her.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
But once it came down to nut crunching time, and it was, well, we can hold on to power or we can have a big mess. Let's get in line.
Yeah, she
Because,
was very good at
there's things that
cracking the whip.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she was good at making a promise. Well, yeah, sure, AOC, we'll listen to whatever nonsense you've got.
But in the end, she
And the GOP can be a little more fractured and a little less, we'll get in line kind of thing, because they get a little more stubborn about holding on to whatever.
that
it
may be
was, their
changing.
thing.
Is kind of what we're talking about here. But we should go back to Monty
Yes,
Python.
but back to Monty Python. Yes.
Because they had their own fractures that they went through at various times. I mean, if you were to talk to any of them today, there's a lot of fondness for each other. They really stayed friends, but there was at times where everybody wanted a piece of that pie, and Cleese and Chapman really kind of ascended to leadership roles in many
Yeah.
respects. But that's not to say that they were any more brilliant or any better than any of the other. I mean, Terry Jones was. I mean, he's the one that he directed those movies. He's the one that, and Idol was the one that helped produce them.
Cleese has kind of that more strong personality, kind of
And which is
ride herd on
because he was not in the last season of the Flying Circus. Most people don't realize that because he had a snit. He stepped aside. They mended the fence when they realized, what do you mean we can make movies? Oh, okay, we're fine. I love you.
I'm in.
I'm in you. Love you. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I think Chapman had a lot to do with that. They had an amazing friendship that we really don't quite
And I think
understand.
Palin, to a large degree, probably had.
He was more the peacemaker.
He's a peacemaker and a glue guy too.
Yeah, because I know Eric Idle makes the comments that I forget. I think it was Cleese that absolutely hated "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life,"
Yeah.
and of course that has been an enormous hit for Idle because he wrote it. And in fact, in the 2012 London Olympics, he was the one. That was the closing thing. He pops out of a thing, and that's what he sings. It's very British and it's very Monty Python, and it was like, okay, yeah, the world knows this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the interesting things about the comedy, and you don't necessarily, unless you are told it, you don't necessarily think about it, but it's true. And I think it's because of the nature of the type of comedy, the absurdity.
Yeah.
They don't do punchline comedy. There are no punchlines. They agreed early on, we're not going to do punchlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a joke style.
Right.
That's right, because that's not sustainable. It gets old very quickly, and it's short. There's not a life.
I mean, I would disagree. I mean, you can make a living on one-liners. I mean, Rodney Dangerfield did it
Yeah, but that's
for
not
50 years.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing as television, though. Week after week.
Well,
which is where they
but
started.
It's
No, I think a lot of-
it's not where they wanted to go.
Well, yes,
It's-
correct. Yeah.
In one-liners, and like a Rodney Dangerfield style of comedy or a Don Rickles style is very personal.
Yeah.
Where their style was always this commentary.
Well, it's a troupe also,
Yeah.
and that was one of the brilliances of their thing is nobody. Now there may be others, I'm sure, but I mean, I suppose you could make Second City or Saturday Night Live sort of a sketch not sketch comedy, but ensemble type of thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, Second City, yeah, those are all sketches.
Yeah, I mean the Groundlings and the Not Ready for Primetime Players and the National Lampoon stuff.
Right. They've done it, but I don't know that they ever did it as well as the Pythons, simply because there's a consistency with them. There's the 6 guys, and it's always those 6 guys.
Well, there's also a cerebral aspect to Monty Python because
That's
they're
very
so
true.
highly educated.
Yes, all of them.
Yeah.
And satire and political and social commentary comedy requires you have really smart guys.
You have to be grounded in some history and some
Yes.
knowing what the hell's going on.
Terry Jones has had a doctorate in medieval history.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why for the History Channel he did several of those
Yes.
documentaries. The Crusades was still amazing. To take something as big as the Crusades, do a 4-part series with Terry Jones, and make it understandable to a modern audience is still a feat of unbelievable.
He would have been a good Snakes and Otters contributor.
Yes, he would have. Yes, he would have. Honorary Snakes and
So
Otters.
when you bring up comparisons to American groups or American comedy, National Lampoon probably is the closest.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because Doug Kenny is Ivy League. He's Harvard.
Yeah.
And I can't remember Henry Miller, I think is the other fella. That when they launched National Lampoon, the idea was to mimic the Harvard Lampoon.
Yeah.
And to then make it national.
Right.
And then when they built a comedy troupe around that, those with the publisher, the not ready for primetime players were originally the Lampoon people.
Well, that's right. Yeah, because Chevy Chase,
Lauren Michael poached them all.
That's right. Yeah.
They were performing on the radio and live in plays.
Yeah.
Just like at the start of Pythons were. And that was all under the umbrella of the National Lampoon magazine.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think we are at about the right spot. So, Robert, hit us, buddy.
Bourbon break.
So, I think after bourbon break, it'll be important to do favorite Python moment.
Oh, yes,
or sketch.
definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and like I said, I've got one in mind and I can launch that off. But first off, what are you drinking, Robert? Because I know you've got something very interesting here.
So this is brand new for the show. We've never had
Yes.
it on here. It is Signature Select Bourbon from Luca Mariano. It's a family-run distillery, and it's 113 proof.
Ooh.
It is aged. I didn't realize it was aged this long. 7 years, 11 months, and 18 days. Basically it's an 8-year bourbon.
Wow. Okay.
And Cajun gave this to me for my birthday several months ago.
Uh-huh.
And because I had so many things open, I just hadn't gotten around to doing it. And had gotten rid of a few bottles off the shelf. So I was ready to put one back. And matter of fact, Francis has helped me finish off with another one today. So I think that's like the third in the last month or so that I've managed
congratulations,
to move
that's
off
right.
the shelf. So that's good.
Allow you to buy more.
Yes. Well, yes. But anyways, it is a because it's a high proof. It's got a bit of a bite to it, but it's not a bite where it's harsh. I don't have a mash bill on this, but I suspect it's got a fair amount of rye because I think it's got a little bit of a
Pepper.
Not peppery in a bad sense, but it's that heat that comes with the pepper.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still the peppery taste or that heat and the smoky taste that comes because 8 years in a barrel, you're going to get some smokiness. All of that, and yet still the sweet hints of the corn are there. So it's a really interesting mix of flavors. I've not had it enough or really had a chance to sip at it and really ponder what's in it. So I can't give you any more detail on the tasting notes, but I'm getting less creaminess than I would with some bourbons. But I really like it. I first had this at LibertyCon with Cajun. We were at one of the party rooms, and it was primo. It is an excellent bourbon. I highly recommend it. I have no idea what the price is on this, but I would guess that's a little bit higher price than some of the things we've had online.
Well, I may have to try that.
Yeah.
So, out of Robert's collection, as we are at Studio R here.
Oh yes, we're at Studio R in the atrium.
Back in the atrium, not in the bowels, not in the bat cave, but out in the atrium. It's kind of a little blustery November day here.
Yep.
I have poured out of his collection Bardstown Bourbon Company Origin Series weeded bourbon.
Yeah, this is the tan label as opposed to the black label.
Yes, this is relatively new in the last 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
So mash bill on the label says 53% corn and 39% wheat.
Uh-huh.
Right. That's, I think, the highest wheat content I've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not as sweet as I was expecting.
You know, I thought that myself.
Interesting. Okay.
There's really nothing about this that really jumps out to me as a flavor that separates it from other things. It tastes like bourbon.
Well,
You know,
I've had the opportunity to speak with the Bardstown Bourbon folks. I don't even remember when it was, some time ago, and they're very clear that they're a blend.
Oh, yes.
Everything they do
Yeah.
is blending. They're basically, and that's their claim to fame is, we're not here to distill per se. We're here to take the best of what we can come up with and mix them together and come up with
Now,
this.
Bardstown Bourbon has gone through a change in
Uh-huh.
ownership
Right.
in the last couple of
Yes.
years. So it used to be they were probably, if you needed to outsource your bourbon while you were getting things up and running, you went to them
Right.
because they
yes,
did most.
They did both. They did their own label, and
Uh-huh.
then they did contract distilling.
Yes, and
They-
they are doing far less of the contract.
Yeah,
than
the
used to.
owners now opened Whiskey House in, I believe it's in the Elizabethtown area, and it is going to be strictly contract distilling. They are not going to do their own juice and their own labels.
Yeah.
So it is going to be, or is, very high end, technologically savvy distilling under contract for others.
Right.
At Whiskey
And-
House.
and the-
which I think is fascinating.
Yeah,
See
the
where
more
that
we do
goes.
this, the more we learn about this, and the more we're constantly fascinated.
But Bardstown Bourbon has a whale of a facility, including a restaurant
They
that
do.
is
That's
very
right.
high end.
Yes.
So,
I've toured the place as well, and the Rick House and the whole bit. And
They're great
it's
folks
awesome.
too. I mean,
It's
having
awesome.
spoke to, I think it wasn't one of the owners, but it was certainly one of his representatives.
Yeah.
And I felt very at home.
so Martin, what's your verdict? Tasty, or would you buy it for your own shelf? I'm just
I
curious.
probably would not buy it for my own shelf because I'm not picking out anything that distinguishes it from other brands here. But and then that is not to say though that it's bad. But it's bourbon. It's got maybe a touch of a cherry taste to it. I'm assuming that's kind of the woodsiness kind of coming through for me.
Right,
There's
and
a
that's
little bit of a
6
cherry.
years aged.
Yeah, 6 years.
So
6 year
that-
weeded bourbon. So I mean, you know, I would imagine this is probably a similar profile to several of the Wellers, but maybe not quite as sweet.
Oh no, I'd have to have them side by side to be
Yeah.
sure because
Be very interesting.
I don't drink every day.
Yeah.
So sometimes
The
it's
one-
hard to. And
yeah.
honestly, we have spread our tasting out so much. I was thinking about this earlier that the stuff we used to drink and that we talked about in the earliest episodes. We hardly have any of those bottles.
We've
anymore
moved on.
Yeah.
And
because we have gone for quality variety.
That's
but
right.
Variety.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we just
I mean,
don't stick to the same bottles anymore.
if
I mean, there's
you-
some we buy over and over.
Yeah, I mean, if you come across this and it's at a good price point and you want to try it, I would not discourage you.
Yeah, I
Um,
want to say that was around 50, give or take.
Yeah,
I could be wrong on that.
Most of
It's
their
been a while.
Origins and Fusion series are probably around that price, between 40 and 60.
Yeah, I
or
want to say it was in the
65.
40s, but
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Upper
Sounds
range,
right.
but-
What I've
I mean, it's tasty. Don't get me wrong. It's tasty. It's kind of, again, that sort of a little bit of a cherry kind of flavor to it.
yeah, it is
Especially
not
at-
as sweet. But
yeah.
the wheat is not what makes it sweet. So being only 53% corn, is probably why it
Yeah,
doesn't taste as
I
sweet.
mean,
The-
wheat is sweeter, or is going to lend a sweeter profile than rye,
Absolutely.
but it doesn't necessarily make it taste like candy.
The wheat smooths it, I think,
Yeah.
more so than.
Oh, it is that.
agreed,
It is
yeah.
that it's a smooth pour.
Yes, this was pretty smooth
mean,
too. For the
I may not know what the hell I'm talking about, but it almost had maybe a little bit of marshmallow, marshmallow and
we
cherry.
bow to the man with the best taste buds. That's
So,
always Martin.
I tell you what, I laugh about this because you guys know I've been talking for 3 or 4 years now about getting off of soft drinks, and I just happened to have one the other day, a canned Pepsi, and I'm like, it's been so long, and I've gotten so used to stuff that isn't sweet. It was like drinking candy.
Yes.
It was crazy. It's like, this is overpoweringly sweet, just nuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can do that once. It's like,
Well,
this is
yeah,
like
I'm kind of the same.
wild.
I'm kind of the same way. I mean, you guys know I was a Coca-Cola fiend, 2 and 3 a day for a long, long time, and I finally,
That's nothing.
based on
2
your
or
all's,
3 days, nothing.
yeah, based on your recommendation, Martin, I finally purged myself of it. The product now to me tastes like pencil lead. It's
Well,
really
that's interesting.
it really is, and it's not that I don't like sweet drinks. I'll still drink an
Yeah.
Ale8, love them, but Coca-Cola, I can't. I mean, that dark, I can't go back.
Yeah.
The
I
bridge is
can
burned.
I can do a fountain drink,
Yes.
but the bottles, the
It's too
16 and
concentrated
20 ounce
almost, yeah.
bottles, it's just like, holy cats.
Yeah, no,
So I have
Like, I can drink maybe a quarter of it. and
Every
then
once in a
after
while, you're
that,
at an
it's-
event, and that's all they got. And I ended up doing that
Ugh.
here recently, and I said, "Well, crap, here we go. I'll take one." And it was back again. It was pencil lead. It
So-
was awful.
as you guys know, I gave it up several years ago and started doing just the occasional Vernors and Fago.
Yeah.
Light colored stuff when I do have it. Every once in a while, I will like a fountain drink. Just I miss the
The fizz.
fizz
Yeah.
more than anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. Every once in a while, a root beer or something fountain,
Yeah.
I'll have. But
And the fountain,
generally-
I do find that is easier to take.
Yeah.
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 That
It- well, it-
dilutes quickly.
it
and
is,
rise,
and, well,
there's not
the-
as much of it.
The whole point of fountain is it's mostly carbonation because it's cheaper. The syrup's what costs.
Yes.
And so they've changed the bricks around. You'll find the taste to be very different.
I
It's
have
less
discovered
the mixing.
that I mean I knew this before. Everybody, you kind of instinctively know it. Like McDonald's is known for having the best Coke mix
Yeah.
out of their fountain drinks for the most part of the.
Yeah.
Not that I eat at McDonald's anymore, but
Well, every once in a while, a Big Mac is pretty good.
yeah, there are times. Yeah, I just don't like the fries anymore. The fries are just too thin.
Really?
They're too thin. There's just nothing to them.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I like the soft middle with a slightly crunchy layer outside. That's the ideal French fry to me.
Interesting.
I mean, I could go on and on about how that is, but
We
but I've
should-
noticed that.
We should do a fast food episode, by the
Oh,
way.
that's not.
That's
We've
a
not
bad
done a
idea.
good food episode. In a
Yeah,
while.
that's right. Just our favorite fast foods. I think that would be a.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
I'm basically down to only 2
Chick-fil-A and
Arby's.
Arby's. I do love Arby's. Yeah.
But there's a history. We've all had them all. At
Yes,
one
yes,
time,
we
so
have,
We could have
yes.
some commentary, and it might be turn into a bit of a blood fest about. But there's some in the back, and not to go off on the tangent, but hey, we're famous for that.
Rabbit hole up.
That's
away,
right,
man.
But
Rabbit hole
hey,
away.
you guys remember Burger Chef, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, freaking love Burger Chef. I mean, it was in Louisville when we in the '70s. Lived there was one. You know where Highland Cleaners is on Bardstown Road?
Yeah.
Used to be Burger
Yes.
Chef. My aunt lived just behind there when we were kids.
Yes.
So we were stopping there all the time because I'm surprised my mother.
Well, it was great because you could go to see your aunt, you can go to Burger Chef and The Great Escape. It was all right there.
That's correct. It's all that's. It took a little while for me to be able to get to the Great Escape because I didn't have any money and
Right, you got to talk parents. into
Oh,
voting up for that.
don't get me started on JLA 150. Come on, I've told you guys that story, right?
Yes.
Yes, I was going to say, I don't know if I think I've told the readers that. Every once in a while, when my wife sees me being that little boy again, she'll walk up to me and says, "This is not Justice League 150, young man." And that she redirects me very well. I've got a really strong trauma against that.
Yeah.
But hey, who knows how kids go? Again, we've rabbit holed. Let's try to get
But
back
that's
to
a wonderful story. I like that. So, Francis, what did you pour?
I did my duty, and I finished off Robert's Larceny Single Barrel.
That's a foolproof.
Oh yeah, it's a full proof, absolutely, 124.
Which is
wasn't
not
that high.
usually your thing.
Which is that's right. Usually that just freaks me out, but I'm drinking it over ice, so it's
Yes,
not,
absolutely. Foolproof you need to have over.
I
ice.
can do that now. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember the one that messed with me bad was that old Forester Prohibition style. I was
Oh yeah.
and I had it neat, and I had a headache for 2 days. It just freaked with me for some strange reason. That high proof just didn't go well. But this, however, it is far smoother. I
It is one of the smoothest 124
it
proof
really is,
bottles
and
you will
I
ever
think
find.
that in fairness to that prohibition style, it's meant to be harsh.
Right.
That was kind of like that. They're leaning into that.
Leaning into a lot of flavor
It,
profile.
and it had.
I mean, the OF 1910 and 1920 are both well regarded, well thought of.
the 1910.
I love them.
My 1910 might be my favorite because it's much milder. It's not
Yes.
so high. That 120, that 1920 is
that
just
1910 has that great stacking.
it does.
Yes.
That's the one
awesome.
that Susan's uncle drank almost my whole bottle of when they came and visited
Oh,
it.
that's a
I think I
crown.
told you. No,
Yes,
no, no. I
yes.
was happy to offer it to him because
Oh, that's right, because they were from out of
they're from
way out of town.
they're from Richmond,
Yes.
Charleston actually. Charleston, South Carolina is where they were at, and they were in for and they stayed with us for a week or so. And he said Uncle Tim's had some health issues, and he wasn't supposed to be drinking bourbon. And Brenda kind of got on me a little bit. She goes, "You really shouldn't be letting him have that." I said,
He's an adult. What are you going to
he's here. I'm sorry. He knows where it's at. You take it up with him. Don't blame me.
do? Right.
But he drank almost all of that bottle, and I'd had very little of it. I think we'd had it on the show maybe once briefly. And God bless him. I told him about I'm still looking for this 1924, which was unavailable at the time. And I've
It's
since
still hard to find.
but they did come out with it this year, and I did get a bottle
Yes,
of it.
They are continuing with it.
They are
yes.
continuing. It's a 10-year, which is why it's so hard to get. But anyway, he took that to heart, and they go back to Charleston, and then a week or so later, I get a package in the mail, and he has sent me the Blue Label Old Forester single barrel, which you just cannot find. You just can't. You just got to get lucky.
Yeah, doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It's hard. I mean, it's long gone. And he had found it, and he knew I was kind of into Old Forester a lot, and he mailed it to me. God bless him. It's still uncracked, and maybe one day we'll crack it on the show when we're there.
I still want to do a flight of the Whiskey Row series.
Well, you and I think, have the complete set.
Yes.
So one of us needs to do
Yes,
that.
mine are entirely unopened, so I thought maybe mine would be the probably the better set to do that with. But obviously, I want to do it when there's more of us here than just the three of us.
Well, and that's something to think about. I mean, if we were going to, I wasn't planning on cracking the 1924.
Well,
But
see,
I would do that for you guys. You know that.
well, again, the 1924 is technically not part of the Whiskey Row.
Yeah, it's a special edition.
It's a special edition because of the 100th
anniversary of the brand. Yeah.
anniversary of that. So, but yeah, but of the four original, the 1870, 1897, 1910, and 1920, I would really like to do a side by side comparison.
I mean, listeners, if you got $50 or $55 and you're looking for a bourbon to buy, grab the 1910.
I would agree.
Absolutely.
If you're going to ask me which one of the four,
you walk into a store and there's 70 or 80 choices. Just grab the 1910.
I would say, yeah, you're right. If you're looking for, if you're
Just
wanting
don't even.
you don't need to really mess with that. Just grab that one there. 1897 is fine. 1870 is fine. They're very different. The bottle and bond and that original recipe, they're excellent.
They
But
are,
That
yes.
1910 has, and they call it old fine whiskey. It is so smooth.
Well, the Old Forester signature series, that 100 proof.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've not had a bottle of that in a long time.
It's one of our
but
favorite.
it's really good.
It's one of our
a
favorite
screw
brands.
top.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about favorite brands. Old Forester's certainly one of them. Basil Hayden's others.
Yes, Weller's.
Weller's, absolutely. Larceny. It's a Heaven Hill brand, and
Yes.
and of course we love that Heaven Hill bottle and bond.
Yes, which is
Absolutely.
one of those bottles I had
yes,
finished off.
yes,
Finished
that
it, that's
Blue
right.
Label bottled and bond Heaven Hill.
Yeah, the blue and white.
That's
yeah.
another one that. Yeah,
It's $50 and it's worth
if
it.
you got $50 and you see that and you
It's
don't,
an 8-year bottled and bond.
Yeah, grab that,
that's
dude. It's good.
That is
and
so
a
smooth.
special shout to Heaven Hill is one of the last family-owned distilleries.
It is, and they really pride themselves on that. I've done the tour of the place. Did you guys ever tour Heaven Hill?
No.
I've done it with.
We need to schedule some time and do some tours. We really
Heaven
do.
Hill is worth your time very much. I have a bottle uncracked at my place that probably when we're coming back in, I think in December, they're with me. I will probably
Yes,
it might be-
December we have a lot of fun stuff.
That's
planned.
right. We'll talk about that when we get close to that.
to
But
the end,
I do want to. I know we're belaboring the point. Just like Stan is belaboring the point to get back to Monty Python. It's not
Yes.
belaboring the point. This larceny was it was my honor to finish that off
So,
for you. So it was peppery.
flavors. What do you
It
peppery?
was peppery. It was definitely it's got a stoutness to it. I've been
Yeah.
thinking while you guys have been talking, what the hell's the word for this? Because it does have that high proof, but again, I'm
is.
drinking with ice. I mean, it's bloomed very well at this point.
See, what you called pepperiness, I would just call a bit of that smoky bite, because to me it wasn't peppery in the high
I can see that.
rye
Yeah, you're right.
aspect,
It is not that at all. It's not.
but
That.
it is hot.
Hot is
It's probably
I think
better
you're
word.
exactly
Not
right.
like burn your mouth, because
Right.
like the other day, I was, had poured my cup of coffee and burned my tongue, and I thought bourbon wouldn't do that.
Well, that's right. Bourbon loves you back.
Bourbon will never let you down, baby.
That's right. Well, it might let you down, but it won't burn your
Oh,
tongue.
No, it never
I
lets
think
you
that was
down.
because this is the single barrel. That is not the regular larceny. Larceny,
Right.
And essentially, that's a
At
new,
its price point, larceny is a good pour.
It is.
It is,
It's an
and
excellent
that was
pour.
Heaven Hill's claim to fame.
Yeah.
I mean, they really.
It's a good pour.
This is one of their few line extensions where they came up with a new brand just on their own. I mean, the Heaven Hill brand itself. I mean, they have many brands. Don't get me wrong. But their strength is their own signature brand. That bottle and bond is so fantastic. This was an extension for them. This was something that was a little different.
Yeah.
That they're gonna really put some power behind.
Does it
It's
have
worth
any creaminess to it like the?
It has a smoothness to it.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
It is a very smooth 124.
It is.
The creaminess, I'm betting that you'll find in the other bottle of larceny that I have up there that is unopened.
The lower proof, the regular
It's
larceny.
the no. It's the weeded. I've got a
Oh,
weeded
okay.
larceny.
Yeah,
yeah.
because the bottled and bond has that wonderful, almost like a vanilla
It's very creamy.
caramel
Yeah.
creamy.
I'm not getting that here. This is
Yeah.
far more. It's leaning more into the sour versus sweet, to use that type of a
Yeah.
analogy.
I would say a little bit. It's a little bit true with the one I had, the Luca Mariano. It is. It's not creamy. It's more what you would when you think of whiskey.
Yeah,
But it's got, I mean, still bourbon, obviously, because and you certainly get the sweetness in that taste. But when you think of whiskey, you think of harder, harsher things. And again, neither one of these are harsh.
Oh
in my
no,
opinion.
they're very smooth.
But they're not. They don't get any of that creamy vanilla caramel that you
Yeah.
get in things like a double oaked, a Woodford double oaked.
yeah.
yeah, this is definitely on the pepper side, the woodsy side.
The woodsy, yes.
Yeah, that's
to me,
a
it's a smoky thing.
Yeah, that's a very accurate term.
Yeah,
Like I say, the larceny, I believe, has been a very successful brand for the Heaven Hill folks.
I'm glad because I've enjoyed every one I've
That's
ever
right,
had.
because sometimes they'll drop one in. Many distillers will do this. They'll drop a brand in, especially if the larger ones that have they have their own lines. They'll create a brand. They'll drop it in. I mean, Beam was probably one of the firsts when they with the Basil Hayden and the Knob Creek and the Bookers that were all the. What do you mean you're actually creating a different brand? This was in the early '90s.
Right, you're just Jim Beam. What's up
Why
with
would you
that?
do that? And then all of a sudden, and I'll give them innovative credit. They've shown that no, we can do this and do this well. That's what the Heaven Hill folks did here, and it's been very successful. So you're going to get these
And the
different
key
iterations.
to that is differentiating
Absolutely.
the brands.
There's two.
You've got to monkey with your mash bill.
Yep.
And your aging to get it right.
That's right. And there's too many. There's too many options of goodness, shall we say?
Yes.
That to leave that undone, because the society has proven, those of us who buy bourbon, it's kind of proven that we like that. We want that, and in fact, it's gotten to the point now where we demand that.
Yeah,
Because
it's interesting.
If it weren't for that, you wouldn't have all these small distillers like that we've seen, that we've loved so much.
Oh yeah.
When we went to Bourbon Fest and which we couldn't go to this year,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But those.
I mean, the bad news is that bourbon's moment might be kind of over.
Oh man, don't say that.
Well,
No, I
I'm
hate
wondering
that.
if it's a bourbon's moment is over versus the economy. Because inflation has hit people hard.
Yeah, the
Yes.
economy has shifted a bit,
And bourbon is
there's
usually
there's some fatigue with the idea of, well, if I want something, I got to go on the secondary market.
Well, for the
And people-
high end stuff.
yeah,
Oh,
people
you're
are
absolutely
kinda
right. There is
fatigued with that.
absolutely a discontent
I'm hoping
with that stuff.
that this bourbon fatigue, whatever you want to call it, this downturn in the market, and it is there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's not a bubble.
I'm
gonna
hoping it is
pop
not
and really
something
be
that's burst,
bad.
Yeah,
But,
because we don't want to see because a lot of the stuff that we've enjoyed and talked about on the show, they're candidates to
It's
go under.
small places like Blueprint.
Oh, I love them. They're absolutely the old
that
Steelhouse
stuff,
folks. That's
the old Steelhouse. That stuff was tremendous.
well, I've got their second version, the under the old Steelhouse brand, which is probably what I'll bring out when your guys are next at my place. At least one or two of us need to do that one.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like
I'll do it.
the Blueprint. The first one was one of the favorite.
That
I
was
have not.
phenomenal.
I have not cracked the second one.
Yeah.
They have a tasting room they've opened in Bardstown, by the
Yeah.
way, which we really need
Yeah, I
to find
mean,
a way
the-
to
Again,
go.
we have got to start planning some of this
Yeah,
stuff.
the big
We're not
guys
getting any
are-
younger boys.
Yeah, the big guys are going to
Yes.
survive, but I'm concerned about some of the smaller ones.
Speaking of not
Yeah.
getting any younger,
Uh-huh.
the first time we recorded as a trio with just Martin, myself, and Brother Andre,
Uh-huh.
it was the week before your big party because you were out that week because you were cleaning and getting things ready because
You had a
Mrs.
house full of guests.
That's
Mrs.
right, we-
Francis was not letting you out of the house because you had stuff to do.
You're exactly right because
You
yours truly
turned the big
turned
6-0.
60,
60.
the first amongst us to do so.
Yes, you will always get those firsts, and you are welcome to.
Hey, I'm kind of looking forward to it
You should be.
because
See, to me, turning 50 was very surreal to me because I didn't feel.
oh yeah, yeah.
you know.
I mean, I will not feel 60.
I mean, I
No,
don't,
it feels
I
just
mean,
the same as 59. I'm telling you.
It's
okay?
well,
It's just the
I mean,
same.
but those round numbers though, they have you have an image of what a person
mean,
in their 50s is like in their 40s.
Yeah, I mean,
or
we used to
60s.
view someone being 60 years old as like, oh, well, you're going to die tomorrow.
Well, you're-
Right. I mean, you're
that
like
was-
5 years from retirement.
Yeah, your past your relevancy expiration
I
date
mean,
has
at
already gone
60
past.
years old used to be like, holy crap, that's
That's your
you know,
expiration date.
That's blue hair and everything. It's like,
It's like you need a walker. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've told you guys this. But and perhaps it's because I turned 60. Although how the algorithm always knows these things, I don't always know. But I did receive something via Instagram, and the more you do, the more you like, the more you get. And one of these that came up was talking about. It has been proven, whatever that means, that a human being reaches their complete peak at 60.
Everybody who's 60 says that.
That's correct. But it does, and there does seem some sense because you have reached the apex of your intellectual, emotional, experiential knowledge base.
That sounds exactly like something Gen X would say when they get to be 60.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
look,
right.
when I get to be 60, I plan on having some new experiences.
Oh, absolutely.
Like what?
But you're so
Because
much better prepared to
We're
experience
going to go
them.
do some stuff.
Sure.
We're going to go do
Well,
some
when
stuff.
you hit your 60s, I mean, you're going to retire in a few years, hopefully.
1 year.
1 year, just 1 year. I thought we still had 2.
No. I've told them, and the plan is I'm leaving.
I
at
thought
the
you were
end
going
of,
to 62. Okay.
No, I'm leaving at the end of 26.
All right, so yeah, you'll be
So
60.
I have
You'll be
1
60,
year
yeah,
left. I'll
right.
be 60 years old if I make it that far because they're going to tear 65 apart in June and July.
I
Oh,
was
yes.
wondering if you were going to say that.
and like,
because
holy crap, I don't want to go in there.
we
Right,
have,
because you work for the government, you can retire at any time. You've been there long enough. You're vested. You can get now. The longer you work, the better your
Right.
pension is.
Yeah,
going
the
to
better
be.
the pension gets. But,
But I mean,
well, I mean, you can, anybody our age, there's like a minimum retirement age across the board. That's Social Security.
right?
It's what, 50,
no, oh,
was
yeah.
it 56 in 4 months or 57 and I think it was 56
That
in
was
4 months.
59.
No, it's less than that.
I was going to
Okay.
say I thought it was 62,
But it's-
but
But
Well, there is that.
62 is when you can get Social Security.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, 62.
You don't
is when-
have to, but you can.
Right. You can't touch it until 62.
yeah.
You can get bridges depending on your employer and stuff like that. I'm eligible for like a Social Security bridge and all that
Well,
kind of stuff.
which leads me to a question, not to rabbit hole, but damn it, we are who
Go
we
for
are. Why wouldn't you start taking checks at 62?
Because it is not because Social Security has income requirements.
Yeah,
So after a certain amount of income beyond your Social Security,
yeah.
for every dollar you earn, they take $1 away from Social
Yeah,
Security.
you
But
can
from
get-
what I understood, that money doesn't go away. You just get
No,
comes
it's
back later.
If the longer you wait,
Yes.
the more you get. Like if you can wait
At
till
that time.
67,
Yeah, which is
you get more than what you would get if you started drawing at 62.
that's right.
Because in theory, you're taking it for less time.
Right.
So
Well,
you-
and also you put more money into it.
Right.
Yes.
Although honestly, I think the amount of money you put in, I don't know the formulas, but I don't think the
Well,
amount of money
I've
you put into
heard talk
doesn't
of the
matter.
fact that
it doesn't matter as
in
much
many
as
respects,
you think it does.
especially if you continue working, if you do not, do not change your status, draw your Social Security at 62, invest that stuff, and then when 67 comes and you truly retire,
But after a certain point, though, you're not getting it. So, because they do, it's my mother-in-law. She's retired. She's 75, so she can draw on everything. But she has worked part-time up at the school here at
Yes.
Mount Carmel.
You get means tested out.
Yes, you get means tested out after a certain amount of money. So,
It's like 24.8 or something like
yeah, I mean,
that
it's
right now.
yeah, I mean, it's a relatively small amount. So
Yeah.
she can only work so much before they start reducing it. Now, 24.8 might be the maximum to where then you're at zero, because I think she was earning way less than that, and she was had to
Yeah,
modify her hours to make sure she didn't go above.
right, exactly.
So like
Yes.
it's Social Security plus whatever that amount
you know,
is.
wouldn't it be logical then, if you're in good,
But
if you're
my-
relatively good health, to work whatever the hell you can
Yes.
in what you want to do, and just take whatever gravy
Right,
they give you?
exactly. Don't start drawing your Social Security until you absolutely have to, kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Which is my plan. I mean, I will retire from my current job, but likely get something else and not claim Social Security.
That's kind of where I'm
Just
going.
take
but
my
you'll still get your
pension.
pension because it's
Yes.
a pension, not a retirement account.
I have both.
Oh, you have both.
So I have a pension and a retirement savings that I can begin to draw from. Like I believe
And
you
those
can-
are not means tested.
right.
Well,
This-
that's,
it's
that's your
mine.
money.
It
That's
belongs
right.
to me.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, theoretically, Social Security does, but
Yeah. So with mine, I can begin to take at 59 without penalty. I must start taking at 72. You have to take disbursements at 72.
I get that.
But you control what you withdraw. Now, because mine was pre-tax, I will have to pay taxes on it when it comes
And
out.
I'm sure that just warms your libertarian heart.
Well, and the thing is, in theory, I'm in a lower bracket by then.
In
So-
theory,
so my liability is less.
So you're actually paying the government less than you would have if you had taken it when you
Right,
earned
now,
it.
It used to be when I first started with this, the way this plan was built, it was all pre-tax. But now you can do it the other way.
right, because
you
the
could do-
post-tax means you get it free and clear.
Right, you've paid taxes on it,
And
you
in
can
many
draw it
ways,
free and
I
clear.
like that because the amount of money you put in that is post-tax, it grows, and the growth doesn't get taxed.
Right.
So paying with after-tax
Now-
dollars, while it takes more money out of your pocket now because there's the amount you
Right.
put in plus it's tax, so
You get
there's
used
that.
to that pretty quickly.
But you get
yes.
used to that.
Yeah.
So and six one
It
half
is.
dozen the other. you
Right,
know?
because you're paying at a higher bracket right now, in theory.
in theory, yes.
Then when you retire, you would be in a lower bracket. And then, of course, there's this notion right now out there, the president has floated, of no tax on Social Security benefits. I'm like, yeah, buddy.
Bring it on.
well, I
yeah.
tell you what,
Fine.
To be
you
nice.
know, the whole to me the idea
makes a
that it
lot
is
We're about to become a very important voting block. He's already there.
yes.
60 plus is a very important voting block.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take that. Absolutely.
But I am very much looking
Gen
forward
X has finally
to-
gotten the significance it's never wanted.
Never had it. Didn't know what
Well,
to do with when we had it.
Sooner or later, folks, everybody hits that.
Yeah.
Well,
The
yeah.
alternative is,
But I'm excited to do some new things and do some experiences, and like I said, maybe take Mrs. Martin to a Highland cow farm and let her stand
show her
around
the
Highland
Scottish cows.
Yeah,
that's right. But Cloud, get off my you. That's the punchline of a joke we simply cannot tell online here. Perhaps I should bring us all back. And
Speaking of jokes,
speaking of jokes, let's go back to.
I have one other thing I would like to rabbit hole on, if you guys will.
Oh,
please,
of course.
please.
I'm sorry. It's geez. We were used to this.
Very, very excited, and again another. Just I want to hug Francis. Bjorn is coming home for a
He
Christmas
is. That's
visit.
right. I'm looking forward to that.
It'll be the first time I've seen him in more than a year,
Yeah.
and he'll be coming in from Tokyo in December, right after Christmas.
By himself, I presume.
Yes.
Okay, that's
yes,
great.
Yes.
Okay.
He is still in a relationship.
That's what I thought,
They
yeah.
were together today, and so we got to say hi. She was fascinated by us having Jesus chicken for breakfast. And wanted to see the dogs. She thinks
Did
the
they
dogs
have
are
Jesus
adorable.
chicken over there yet?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Yeah.
The Christmas tradition, however,
Has made its way?
Christmas is less of a family thing than it's more of a relationship thing.
Really?
So, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, you make reservations at KFC
Wow.
for Christmas, and you go get Christmas chicken at KFC
Wow.
in Japan.
That's isn't
As
it-
opposed to Christian chicken, which
So
is
that's why he's not leaving
Until
before
after-
Christmas, because
Okay.
he's going to spend Christmas with her.
now all that
and then
sudden that makes
fly
sense
in.
because I was
right, because
really-
that would be then a very, very big relationship insult.
That's right, very
slight.
faux pas. Okay, then I'll
Yes,
forgive
okay.
him because I really wanted him to
I
come to
wanted
midnight
to-
mass. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted him to come in before Christmas because that way he could see some family when we go Christmas Eve. There'd be a little
Right.
more time to see you guys.
Yeah.
He's dying to meet Brother Andre.
Uh-huh.
As we mentioned, he is now a convert that has like one more step to go.
He's just got confirmation left. That's right, and it's going
Yeah.
to happen at some point. But he's
Well,
going.
confirmation and first communion.
I thought he'd already had his first communion.
That I have not discussed with him.
I
No,
thought he
they
already did.
shouldn't because first communion and confirmation should be done together
Generally
because sacraments of initiation.
That's correct, and I thought he said that he was only waiting for confirmation. Perhaps I just didn't ask the question.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was waiting for the bishop,
And
not
that's-
waiting for
Bishop.
confirmation.
And that's correct.
Because the bishop, well,
He did say that. You're right. I'm trying to think. When he gets
normal
here, we'll give him.
confirmation
listen,
is the bishop. but
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition, but we're going to give it to him when he
That's
gets here.
right. We
That's
are
right.
going.
Uh,
it's going to give him.
Anyway, he's very much desirous of going to Mass
okay.
at Francis's parish.
Yes, you'll see him.
And he would very much like to meet the Archbishop if we could arrange it at some
Well,
point.
I can't get him to the Archbishop to you, but I can tell you where he's going to be, and I'm probably and depending on commitments, I'll go with him, and
Yes,
and have make the introduction.
would-
I could do that. That's easy.
That would warm my heart.
We'll
I
make
would
some
love for you.
we'll
to be
make some
able to,
plans and see.
Yes,
I'll find out where he's
figure
going
it
to be at.
Figure out what we can do.
I do know that the Archbishop traditionally does midnight mass at the cathedral because it's usually live streamed.
Yep.
For Christmas, unfortunately, too, Archbishop Shelton has the history, if I recall correctly, of once that's done, he heads to New Orleans for his family. So he probably will not. He probably will not be in
yes.
town while Bjorn is here. I'll just let you know that right up front.
Yes.
That's his
Yes,
tradition.
'cause he's still young enough where he still has a lot of living family.
Absolutely, he does, and that's something that he's done for. Hey, it's great because when he came in to us almost 4 years now, he added some paid holidays for us, and actually
Now
several.
I know why. It's so that he can go to New Orleans.
That's exactly right. That's what he was very clear about
Well,
that.
I mean,
He says
family's important to him.
family
It
must.
is. It is.
So traditionally, most of us who work for the church, we were saving vacation days, and between Christmas and New Year's, we're just taking it.
Right, because
Nobody wants to do it. Nobody's going to be doing anything. Many-
most businesses
many
between
parishes would-
Christmas and New Year's is the slowest time of the year.
That's right. So
Even my business, where we do gift cards, it's the slowest week of the year.
yeah, we it's just been a thing. Parishes do the same thing. So he came in. He says, I'm just going to give it to you because when you all are gone, I can be gone, and I'll go visit my family without any worries that there's things. I mean,
And the beauty of this is,
yes,
once it's established,
that's right. It's
it
not.
won't be taken away.
That's correct. So I don't have to save my vacation for those times. I get paid holidays between those two, which is a
Right.
beautiful, beautiful system. I'm so grateful. If Archbishop
Just out of
Shelton-
curiosity, how many weeks of vacation do you can you max? I know you're not there yet, but
I'm
can
not
you max out?
I can max out. I think it's 6, but I'll never get there. I've reached the apex in many ways with 4 weeks after 10 years.
Oh my God, you've been there 10 years.
I've been there 10 years. That's right. I just
Wow.
it's been 10 years now.
Yeah, I get 4 weeks
And
plus I get a week of sick pay and a week of personal days. So effectively, I get 6 weeks of
Yeah.
vacation.
I get 2 personal days a year that are outside those 4 weeks, and I get you accumulate 6 days, and I'm maxed out at 90.
Damn.
I took a few this year actually
we
when I
can't
got
carry over unless we arrange it ahead of time,
Yeah.
and it can't be a lot.
Yeah, the sick days always
Yeah.
you bank those, but you can take 10 days from year to year in vacation, no more. And currently this year here I've got 8 left. I'm going to take 2, 3 more, so I'll probably end up with 4. That's unusual. Usually I'll take all 10. And so I was at 6 weeks this year, which was amazing.
Yeah. So
That's about right. That's about what you should
So
get.
Bjorn will be in town for 2 Sundays.
Right.
Because he will be
Well,
the one immediately after Christmas and then the one
which would be
after New
Holy
Year.
Family and Epiphany for us church geeks.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing him at Gabriel. Just let me know when he's coming.
And of course, Mary, Mother of God on
That's correct, on New Year's Day.
Year's
So
Day.
that's, he knows that's a.
We bought the ticket this morning, so the flight is like the 26th at 5:30 something.
Yeah.
So if you want to come,
Is that when
greet
he
him
arrives?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does he leave on the 25th and arrive on the 26th? Because he crosses the international date line. Depending on which way you go, you can arrive before you left.
Exactly. That's essentially what he's doing. Like he's leaving at like 4:00 in the afternoon and getting here from Tokyo at 5:30 in the afternoon on the same day.
And what day is he going? What day is he going back? January.
It's the 5th.
Perfect. Because I preach the weekend of the 3rd and the 4th, so I'll be at all masses that weekend. So whichever one he wants to come to, he will actually get to hear me preach. I was hoping he would get.
See,
that
I am
option.
definitely not taking. I am preaching in December, the second weekend.
Yeah, and you're done.
And then I am done because there's 2 of us deacons, so I only have to preach 1 weekend a month. But I do not. I try my very best, and because now my schedule's flexible, I get to pick which weekend I preach, as opposed to my prior parishes where it was a set 2nd or 4th or whatever. You know. Now, so I try very much not to preach either on the weekend I start vacation or the weekend I end, because otherwise,
Sure.
You've killed part of your vacation time.
That's fine.
So, like, I'm on vacation right now, and I don't go back to work until December 1st. And I have absolutely no obligations other than OCIA, basically.
You are a master at coordinating that. I've never been very good at that. I mean, if I'm out of town, of course, but other than that, it's been very
well. I have a pastor that, matter of fact, I've had him more than any other pastor since I've ended up following him to his new parishes eventually. Who is very much appreciative of anything a deacon can do to help out,
and mine is
in
the same
any
way.
kind of ministry.
Mine is the same way.
Well,
He's going to be very.
But you didn't start with that necessarily.
Well, you're right.
So you have boxed yourself into a corner. So
well, when it was just me, you're right, because when I was the lone deacon, I have a tremendous work ethic that has often bitten me in the buttocks. That really has not helped me any. But now,
well, even when I've been the lone deacon with Father, he has never expected me to be at all the masses.
True, but
he's never even expected me to be at all the masses on a single day.
Yeah, and I would, and perhaps for whatever reason,
except when I preach,
and that's kind of the way it was with me when it was just me, and that's been a lot of times. I'm at least 2 masses every weekend, and that I didn't realize how much that really kicked me in the buttocks until you do not know how empty you are until you are filled. It's the same way when we've got the new deacon that has come in.
You also
this year.
don't know how full you are until you have been emptied of responsibilities.
I guess that's exactly how this lays out, because now that I've got a partner that I don't have to worry. He's excellent. He's fantastic. And I know that when he's there, all the things that I would do, he's going to do. I don't have to worry whether it be preaching, whether it be preaching or not. He's got that deacon stuff, so I cannot worry about what's not being done. And I'm off for 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time.
And I've never had to worry about
Stuff
anything
like that.
other than what I have to do between the beginning of Mass and the end of Mass. I don't have to worry about any setup. I don't have to worry about making sure, because
I'm mostly there. If Andre were here, he would say differently. Because
he would say, and a lot of our brother deacons say different.
That's right. They take that sacristan role that
and that they should not.
Yeah, it's not hard to have folk. You and I are both living examples of, if you create a lay sacristan corps that's very good at what they do,
it's one of the
you
ways,
shouldn't have to.
Right, and it's one of the ways. The Church and the Vatican II documents, just to throw this out there, you've probably heard us talk about this.
Again, folks.
We should have really had some rabbit hole bourbon. I've got some up there.
I was thinking about that, yeah.
But one of the things Church talks about with Vatican II documents is the full and active participation of the laity. Yeah. Now, on the one hand, to me, the primary meaning of that is they are present to the Mass itself.
That's right, and fulfilling the roles that they are subscribed.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's when you're in the pews, you are there. You understand what's going.
It's full and active participation.
Yeah, it's important for the flock to participate and to feel that they belong.
Well, but the full and active participation to me is you personally are there. You're present to what's happening at the ambo and at the altar.
Yeah.
The second part of that is, what roles can I play to make this happen? Which is, lector, extraordinary minister of Holy Communion,
And
usher,
and
sacristan especially.
That's right.
And
That's a big
that
one.
is one that is so hard to get people to do, because you got to be there early.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And there are. It's not a huge number of things, but it's amazing the number of things that has to be done behind the scenes that nobody ever thought about.
right.
And so when you bring it up to this, well, you got to do this. Oh my God, that's a lot of work. No, not really.
Most of the
It's
folks
a 15-minute setup.
there's all if you've got enough folks to pull from, and we do, I know, there are always folks that love doing it.
Yes,
The ones
once you
that-
get people involved doing
They
it,
love doing it. They realize the true sacredness and the necessity of that. Again, we've read. Gosh,
Yes.
dang, I'm failing.
Anyway.
Captain.
yeah, we're at 124. So
I
Oh
was
my
going.
God.
Hey,
Oh my
I had
God.
tried to bring us back, and
and
I'll blame Martin.
yeah, we
Yes.
blame Martin.
I'll just one last thing. I have the little book, chapter 9. So speaking of hot bourbons,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like 130 proof. We're going to crack that when Bjorn is here.
Okay,
Awesome.
So you guys are coming to the house.
We are able to do this.
If you're
already.
cracking Little Book, I'm definitely coming to the
You're
house,
coming
whether I'm
to the
invited or
house.
not.
We'll figure it out. It won't make Mrs. Martin happy, but we're going to figure it out. There's so many off days.
Well,
you guys will be off.
she does
Come
like
to-
us, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Well, but
but
she
she
wants-
likes me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
the dogs and the Imperator and
Well, and yeah. I mean, that's questionable for everybody. But she wants Bjorn to herself, I think, is more the issue.
As
right?
a
Yeah.
mama, I totally get
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
And there'll be plenty of time for herself. But
Yeah.
he wants to meet Brother Andre. He wants to see you guys, and he wants to go to mass with Francis. And
I'm off.
all of that can be arranged.
The first weekend I'm actually off, but of course I'll be at the 12 o'clock mass, so we'll figure that out. If he needs to be at another mass, I can probably arrange that. But the second weekend I'm preaching it also. I'm at all masses, so whichever one he wants to come to.
like I said,
Yeah, I mean, if he wants to come to my parish as the first weekend, he can do that.
yeah,
Oh,
yep, absolutely. Like I said, there's this huge all those holidays. There's New Year's Eve, New Year's. We can figure something out in there. I know you guys are off.
Yeah.
We'll get together. We'll sit in the basement. We're going to crack that little book, chapter 9,
Ooh, Chihuahua.
and have it because I was saving that to celebrate. I'm celebrating.
That is a
the Lord.
celebration worthy. Yes.
Yes, just like the red label Weller that you didn't want us to touch today.
Well, I just got it. I want it to sit up there on the shelf so I can
That's right.
figure out
Hey,
when exactly I want to.
Not in any way disparaging that. I just can't wait for the time when you say, "Let's go," because I
Yes.
want to be here when that happens.
Yes. Well, that has probably moved into the top spot for publishing.
Okay, there
That's
you
my
go.
that's my
Bring it
publishing
on.
bottle.
When you get
That's
the
what I'm
bottle,
thinking.
hey, that's I did it with the Hemingway, and it was
Right.
not that it kept me from drinking the Hemingway, which is excellent by the way.
So
but
it's like the first bottle of Booker's that I got.
yeah,
That was my bottle that I opened for the nonfiction.
Yeah,
So I think this
I'll have
107.
to figure out a new
yeah, you'll have to figure out what.
publishing one because I'm going to open this little book when.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. You'll figure
We'll
it out.
figure that out. Yeah.
There's plenty of options. That's for darn
77,000 words.
Awesome.
See,
How much more do you?
I'm
'Cause
in
I
the
know
last scene. I'm in the last scene.
All right, so
Oh,
you
man, I
should
did
hit that
last
80,000 very good. That's right. That's
yeah,
what,
it'll
that's
be
the magic
right at
number.
it'll be right at about 80, 79 to 80.
That's what you want. That's
and
that's
because
a
the
novel.
last scene is a little long one.
It should be, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
You got to pay off
So,
everything.
You're speaking of little pieces like we talked about Wagner's. So I'll just throw this to you. One day on my commute, I was behind on the round trip 3 different cars that had only one brake light.
Oh my God.
Like one car had a right brake light.
This
yeah,
is
another
very
car-
Martin, listeners.
Another car
This is
only
very
had the
Martin.
left brake light, and another car only had the high mount brake light. So I have a scene.
This is
of-
your hell, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's like
This is why he wants to retire, folks.
You
Because
jacklegs.
yeah, yeah.
Get-
And I'm
get your
sure
brake
that's the
lights
word
fixed.
you used, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so. It's like one car had like 4 bumper stickers on it.
Oh.
So it struck me, there's this alliteration. This little piece is more bumper stickers than brake lights. So that's now in one of the scenes.
Well, you're
Oh,
absolutely
nice.
where the cops is, they're trying to get somewhere,
Yeah.
and he's like, every other car is a junker. It's, some of them more bumper stickers
See,
than brake lights.
Yeah,
I love it. I love
I
it.
truly believe you have arrived at author level stuff because that's what you do. You
Yeah.
take these moments that you find and just
Yeah,
when
the
you get
weird
that-
stuff I'm talking about Wagner's is just the
Hey,
real
if it
life stuff
works,
that you go,
if it works, it works.
I gotta find a way to throw.
Well, yeah,
that
I mean,
in.
and well, I'll give you credit. You were one of those that was smart enough to say to me when I was writing the third book, put me in here.
Yeah.
and which I did that. And I think I did that very successfully. Cajun actually appears in a short story that I'm working on. So, Robert, you're next. You've got to figure out where you want to appear because I haven't put you in here.
Oh, I am good with wherever.
Well,
as
villains-
long as I'm not,
A villain.
no, actually, I don't mind being a villain.
A villain could be really cool.
I am okay with being a very Machiavellian kind of figure. I'm okay with that.
Okay,
I just
can
don't
do
want to
that.
be some, pansy ass, wine drinker or something.
no, we
No
won't.
offense to wine drinkers.
Well, I mean,
it's just not my thing. 'Cause I know Martin likes.
You and I were talking about a short story I'm working on right now that takes place in Paris. So you don't want any part
no
of that.
Frenchman.
No Frenchmen around
Yeah.
for that one.
No, it's just that was one of the pieces that I struggled with early on is how much of myself do I put in? And eventually I just kind of went, you know what?
Nah.
I'm going to put me in.
You have to.
I'm going to be myself.
Your first, especially your.
Are you?
earliest
You mean as a
works.
character? Are you going to?
No,
be a character?
not as a character, but as how much of how I would phrase things.
Oh,
and
well,
how I would
you know,
say
that
things.
is your claim to
Because
fame, and
I
it's the only
was-
thing that you can
I was
give.
concerned about, like, if I make these characters too much like me, if they sound like me,
You're right.
they're not real.
Absolutely,
They're
that's
not
correct.
real. Because
But
I
you
don't.
as a narrator, you as the author,
Yeah.
oh yes,
Well,
you're going to be there.
And
Yeah.
putting yourself, you'll find that a lot of yourself ends up coming out in your protagonist, anyways.
Yeah.
You can't help it,
Because
even
you
though
can't help it.
even though
Especially
you,
your-
I've
your
gotta-
earliest books,
Yeah.
especially that
Yeah.
happens.
you can't help it.
That's
and
what
it's
one thing I've
okay.
been mindful of is he's got to be more real. He can't be like me.
Well, you're real, but yes.
But
But I understand what you're saying.
yeah,
But you're not a middle-aged cop.
right. I'm
You
not.
want him interesting and sexy? Is that what you're saying?
No, I want him. I want.
I'm sorry.
Nice one.
but-
Yeah.
Nice one, Centurion.
Oh, thank you,
Like
thank you,
it,
thank you.
yes.
In real life, here's what I find is, and this is not a thing of I'm better than everybody else, but I find I'm different.
Sure.
Hey,
the
we're
three
all
of,
different.
The three of us.
We're all
Individuals.
individuals. That's
I'm
right.
not.
I'm not. That's right. You're the I'm not. That's right.
Right. You guys, I spend a lot of time around people with a quote law enforcement background
Sure.
or a social work background. And what I find is they're normies. They like normal things. They do normal stuff.
Really?
I find I'm a weirdo
Oh.
because I sit in my basement and read books about Aristotle and Plato.
By the way, my copy of The Cave and the Light came yesterday.
There you go.
I just finished it.
Tiny text. I think I'm going to have to get my magnifying glass out.
It is the best book I've ever read. Professor Herman's new book comes out in April. It's called Founder's Fire. It's about
Ooh.
innovators and disruptors and how society moves ahead when somebody
Leads.
doesn't think
Yeah.
the way everyone else does.
Breaks
Yeah.
the mold.
That's right.
So it's very much in that same vein of Forged in Fire, I think it's called, the one he did about the business leaders ramping up production for
Yeah.
World War II.
Well,
Sure.
You have always stated that you wanted to be the new Elmore Leonard. I don't think you ever said it in those terms, but that's kind of
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I wanted to
that's
build
your
on
model.
that.
that's your. I mean,
Elmore Leonard, Carl Hyacin.
Yeah.
Again, if you haven't read Carl Hyacin,
I have
really
not.
good stuff. Set in South Florida. So I'm a lot of what I'm doing is kind of based on him.
we all have our
And
models
then,
and our
and then
heroes.
The
That's
James
a good thing.
Absolutely.
Elroy, the James
Absolutely.
Elroy kind of I'm filtering a little of that too.
So,
I can't get there, but
well, it's your first book. So,
Come on.
yeah,
yeah.
That's right.
So even Stephen King wasn't Stephen King on his first book.
yeah.
Yeah, Carrie.
Well, I mean, Elroy's
thrown in the
kind
fire.
of oeuvre is oeuvre
Oh,
Is that-
sorry.
Oh,
is
yeah,
that
yeah.
a-
Word boner.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely deserve that. That's
is
right.
that everybody's corrupt.
Right.
He does a police novel in the 50s in Los Angeles, and it's everybody is corrupt.
So it's L.A.
Everybody's working.
Confidential long before there was L.A. Confidential, essentially. Yeah,
Well, I mean, that is an Elroy.
that is right. It's what
Yeah,
it's.
yeah.
It's
Oh.
But all of his are that same thing. And in the novels, like it's everybody. Like even the Exley character is supposed to be the hero one.
right. Yeah.
In White Jazz, even Elroy's got a safe with $400,000 in it, and it's like, where the hell did that come from? So
That's none of your damn business.
yeah. So
None ya.
in mine, though, I'm morphing that to make it more real life of, there's corruption, but then there's also just incompetence. I mean, how many times in our lives do we just go
Yeah.
through life?
Now, that is a Martinism. That's
It's
correct.
just, it's like these guys aren't corrupt. Nobody's paying them. They're just lazy assholes.
Well, and I do
And-
believe that probably describes Martin so well. He has no patience for
Well, I think that's true for
incompetence,
all
laziness,
of us, though.
but he takes it
But
to a
he
new level.
he is the king. Yes.
Because you're not afraid to call it out.
yeah.
And it comes
that's-
and it comes home
Yeah.
on your drive home, especially. And not that you don't have good people that
Well,
work with you, but those that are not,
It's also a function
hear
of
about.
the job, though.
That is
because
correct.
He and I both are in IT support,
And
and the incompetence that you deal with when you have to deal with people who are not tech savvy
yeah,
is astounding.
yeah.
So,
There's been commercials I've seen about
so, I mean,
that.
you know, you're 60, I'm 59. Martin is a month younger than me. You know, we're basically 6 months away from our 60th, give or
Yeah.
take. Little more, but
you'll be here soon.
we'll be here soon.
That's it.
And so it always astounds me when I run into people who are close to my age, or even people a little bit older,
Uh-huh.
but they've been in the job market long enough to where everybody should be comfortable doing stuff on the computer, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But it's not. But they're not. I still run into people that are afraid to press the wrong button because they're afraid they're going to, delete the entire business.
Oh God, yeah. I
I
thought
mean, it's
that would
not a
have.
lot.
I was gonna say I thought that would have been long gone by now.
It's rare, but
We're not talking
you
about grandma
still
sitting at home.
approach right. It's not. Would you come over here and take the blinking 12 o'clock off of my VCR level of incompetence?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
Well,
just
when you reach a certain age, and my mother-in-law is one of them. I don't know about your mother-in-law.
she's
but-
actually fairly decent with.
yeah,
tech.
I was gonna say
Not
she probably.
great,
Knowing her as I do, I think that she's probably that. Mine is just not, and that's okay. It falls to me, and God bless my daughter Emily. She's the one that has kind of taken up my mantle. We've done some things with that, but there are certain things that just kind of go. We got to go.
the
take care of that.
concepts just don't compute. So I'm going to pull a bit of a
kinda-
captain role
Yeah, it's
here.
kind of a flop for me because
Please.
most of all of mine are much younger because the older
Yes,
people get
and I run into
cycled
some
out.
people with.
I was
And
gonna
it's
say,
like,
sooner or
you
later,
grew up with this.
By the
How
time
do
we
you
get,
not
by the
know?
time we get to where we're at, that should be the norm.
Yeah.
Is that
Well, a lot of
those
the-
folks that can't handle it have gone?
Well, a lot of the people who are young that are like that, they grew up with it, but they grew up with it where it was all so easy, so that when you throw a curveball at them, they don't know
Yeah.
how to handle that. Whereas our generation grew up when everything was changing from no computers to DOS.
Yeah,
You
that's
had
right.
you had to figure out how to do it on your own.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot
But,
of
yeah.
Unless you
Go
had
ahead-
a friend
go
like
ahead and
Robert
get
who
us
could help
back.
you.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
that's mama.
Captain,
we are at
roll to it.
136. So
Oh, we got to
yes, we got to wrap this puppy
one
up.
last thing up.
So favorite moments or movies, right?
Thank
That's
you.
what you wanted to do.
Yes, favorite Monty Python pieces, the Four Yorkshiremen sketch, because
Oh,
it's
from-
another one that works.
From Flying Circus, right?
I think it actually predates the show
Oh, really?
because I think they involved. I think it's Eddie Izzard and some other stand up.
'cause
I
I
mean,
don't-
it goes. They've done it at
I don't
like
know this
Secret
one.
Policeman, but it appears in Live at the Hollywood Bowl.
Okay, there
So
you go.
that's the live sketch.
There you
show.
go. Yeah.
So it is sketches. They did do it on the show, but I think they wrote it even before.
Well,
and
hey,
it's-
as we all know, if it's good, it's good.
It's
you
good.
know?
Well, it could be one of those things that they wrote before the show to help sell the show, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they got together with the intention of doing all that stuff at some point. But so I don't know where they performed stuff before they got the show.
Well, it probably was stage shows. And
Yeah.
Yes, they did do
They
stage. show,
did a lot
that's
of
true.
London
Yes,
stage.
that's true.
That's where,
true.
and it was kind of different ones did it. They didn't all do it all together until they came together with the BBC show. They were,
So I don't know the sketch.
So Four
It's kinda like-
Yorkshiremen is four of them sitting there, and you have to know a little bit about again the class and the kind of the situations in Britain. Yorkshire is the far north of England.
that's right, where my people came from, Lancashire.
Yeah, and so it is not as well off as other districts. So folks in Yorkshire are famous for being thrifty, so to speak,
So they're almost Scottish.
almost Scottish.
But not quite.
Copper wire invented by two Yorkshiremen pulling on a penny, that kind of thing.
Very good. I
Um,
like that. Yeah.
So it's four of them sitting around in dinner jackets with cigars, drinking, and apparently competitiveness is also part of Yorkshire. So they start talking about how poor they started out. How great it is to be, rich now, but we were happier when we were poor. That business. And so one of them starts out with, Well, we lived in this tiny tumble-down house with great big holes in the roof. And then another one was like a house. We lived in one room, all 26 of us. Half the floor was missing, no furniture. We're all huddled in one corner for fear of falling. So then they just keep going and trying to outdo each other. And it was, we used to live in the corridor. And then the next one was, we used to dream of living in a corridor. And then then it would go around to the next one they would try to outdo. And it becomes more and more absurd, to where they're getting up at 10:30 at night, half an hour before they went to bed to go down, and paid meal owner to permission to come to work and all this kind of stuff. So it just got, we got evicted from our hole in the ground. We had to go live in a lake. And so the Four Yorkshiremen sketch is just my favorite. It's just so absurd and so ridiculous. And to me, it's the predecessor of all the things in, not Holy Grail, in Life of Brian.
Yes.
It's where they're sitting there in the stadium for the gladiatorial games talking about Stan wanting to be called Loretta and where is he going to gestate the fetus? Is he going to keep it in a box? This is like that first glimmer of that crazy absurdity is the Four Yorkshiremen sketch.
Yes.
And I love it.
Well, I thought of the Life of Brian when you were talking about that.
Yeah.
About when he's thrown into the jail cell and the guy says, I just dream about being spat in the face.
That's
Yes,
right.
it is. It's the very same sort of, jailer's pet, are we?
Right. Bloody favoritism.
Shut up, you.
That's right.
For nail him up, I say, it's very fair for what I did.
That's right.
So if you I have Hollywood Bowl on disc, I think.
Oh,
And just the Four Yorkshiremen is just hilarious.
I have to look that up.
But I think they
Yes,
also
I do not
performed
know
it during
that one as well as that.
one
as
of
many
those
others.
Amnesty International secret policeman's other ball
Yeah.
things. They I think like Marty Feldman did it with them. And
Oh, wow. Okay.
so they've done it with other comedians and done.
That's the kind of one that you
Traded the
can
roles
do as ad hoc, where you can just make it up as you go. You don't have to do a set piece.
If you're a
Right.
genius like they all were,
Yeah,
you,
like
you can pull it off.
like
That's right.
Idol's done different roles. Palin did different roles, so it.
Right.
Cleese doesn't appear in it in this one.
Oh, see, I think he would be awesome at that.
But he's done it.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
different-
That's right.
Yeah.
Robert?
I wasn't.
You gonna get to me?
I can go next if you
Go
prefer.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause,
So this is really difficult for me to pare down.
that's where I'm kind of waiting you to go first, so I can get a moment to get my.
Because
together.
the scene in the gladiator the arena.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that
I
comes
mean,
to mind.
we just keep doing. I mean, we do the
And
salute.
I get it's not politically correct nowadays. I get that. But you know what? If you can't take a joke, well, you're probably not listening to us anyways. If you're offended by the fact that we like that scene where they're talking about how Stan wants to be called Loretta, it's humorous not because they're making fun of him. They're humorous because it is pointing out some of what the absurdity.
The
of it.
absurdity. That's
And
there you
granted,
go.
from our perspective, it's absurd. From your perspective, maybe not. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean,
There are millions who agree with us.
There are millions who agree with them too.
It's
So
a
I mean,
skewer of a way of thinking, though.
well,
That
it's
separates yourself from reality.
right.
There's
And-
the emperor has no clothes in
It's
certain areas.
Yeah.
but more so, it's the humor to me comes from the trying to deal with this concept. They don't condemn him for it. They're trying. They actually, I think, are honestly trying to understand it and figure out how to deal with it. Now, granted, John Cleese is like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Symbolic of his.
The others
destruction with
are the ones who are
reality.
trying to
Right. Again, like
accommodate.
Yeah, Judith is acting as the peacemaker, and the other ones are trying to figure out how to fit this in.
Right. And Palin says, it is symbolic of our struggle against the Romans. We will fight for your right to have babies, brother, sister.
Yeah,
Sibling.
So where they're trying to make peace, and they try to shoehorn this into this greater political struggle, which is a nonsense struggle anyway.
Right.
Because
That's
you
the
find out
brilliance
later
of the whole scene.
is
because
like
all
we're
of this
struggling
is not-
against the Romans. What have the Romans ever done for us? Well, sanitation, roads,
The aqueduct?
education,
The
clean water.
roads.
Oh, you know
Yeah.
what the
Well,
city used
obviously, the roads. That goes without saying,
That's
doesn't
right.
it?
you know what the city used to smell like,
Like
Reg.
That's right.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's like, maybe the Romans ought to stay. It's kind of like, how about if we not have a, 3 different rebellion groups?
Right, and that whole thing about the different groups, all that whole thing to me is just absolutely hilarious. Now, I also considered every sperm is sacred
Oh well.
Also
okay.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Also wonderful.
because
I can wear a thing on my John Thomas.
yes,
Right.
that side
Can
conversation
I have a French
during
tickler?
it
That's right.
is
I
hilarious.
could wear. You could wear a French tickler.
And honestly, I picture Martin and Mrs. Martin having that conversation.
Oh, so you
That's,
really
that's one of the reasons why I picture him as Graham.
Graham Chapman? Okay,
And
yeah.
I'm a
That's
Protestant and I can wear a thing on my John Thomas.
That's right.
Well,
That's,
why don't you then?
That's right.
Because he never touches her. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we've had sex and we have 2 children. Yes, well, that's not the point now, is it? But anyways, there was that, and there's several other things. But I think I just got to go with because it's the absurdity in the context. This is 2,000 years ago, too.
Yeah.
So, and the political comment, all that. It's just, to me, there's just nothing about that is not funny. So,
And it feels believable for the context and for
yes.
the time the film was written.
Absolutely.
I
It
mean,
does.
it's like, because that was real. There were actual rebellions against Roman domination of the place, and it
correct.
all came to nothing because they ended up burning the whole thing down.
Well,
was just pointless.
Vespasian comes in 70 and says, "Okay, you really want to do this?
Yeah,
Let me show you where this ends."
Yeah, you want to throw down? All right,
All right,
we'll throw down. then.
That's right. It's exactly
And-
right.
And Rome burns the whole thing to the ground.
That's exactly right. So be careful who you pick a fight with.
Yeah.
That's very true, yes.
Yeah, it's-
So that's mine. So,
right.
Francis, yours?
Oh, I am It's got to be those 2 words we have not yet spoken, and I cannot believe we've yet to speak those 2 words. Biggest.
Oh, yes. That was a consideration, too.
Yes, biggest.
I thought
biggest.
about that. The whole pilot
Well,
scene with
he has a
Anybody-
wife,
It is. So you know what she's called?
Incontinentia.
Incontinentia buttocks. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I went about fighting wild rabbit animals within a week. The entire Michael Palin's genius, and I really
Yeah,
wish-
we have not talked about Palin and Idol as much as
Near
we
as
did
much as we
Cleese
should
and
have.
Chapman, and
Uh,
they really
because
again,
how he's able to pull that
genius of
off.
those 2 guys.
That is truly one of the most amazing scenes in the entire piece. Well, amazing characters because he appears in multiple scenes. And he's able to do this with an absolutely perfectly straight face and makes fun of those who absolutely can't, which is kind of the whole point of the brilliance of this. And I really think it's fantastic that not only do they talk about this supposed biggest dickus, they bring in biggest dickus. My very dear friend Rome is here for here for the the Passover. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Let me
And-
come with a
and-
party.
and-
I may be a from assistant. If there was a fun crisis. Graham Chapman is one of his few double roles in that movie
Yeah,
because
yes.
he's as Brian. He carries so much. It's
And they
almost
must have
impossible.
put together an incredible costume for him because he's huge in that scene.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
looks huge. He's not a big guy.
No.
So, I mean, he looks
It-
like a
it-
big
it
beefy
just-
guy.
Oh, and that
and-
curly wig was hysterical.
It
Well,
was.
that's Terry Jones, knowing his guys, knowing his thing.
Yes.
He makes the commentary about when he was the hermit. He says, "Yeah, I was my costume was being naked. I
Had
took
a long beard.
a long beard, which I put a piece of tape on my John Thomas, and there we go. I'm in costume there. So it's but again, Big Stick is the whole just the fact that they would say that.
Yeah.
And they would not only take that and run with it and make that a centerpiece of the entire daggone climax. Yeah, that's pretty genius.
Do we have a man named what do they call him?
Wadwick and
Well, no,
Race Wadja.
no. He's saying, do we have him? Do we have? He says, who's your?
I'm sorry, do we have any? Do we have any Wadwicks? No, we would have a Samson, sir. A Samson, the Sadducee
when-
strangler, and the Cyrus, the Syrian assassin.
When Brian says, my father was a Roman.
Oh,
Who was he?
Nortius Maximus. Do we-
Nautius Maximus.
That's right.
That's the
Do
one.
we have anybody in our prisons with that name? Well, it's a joke name, sir.
It's a joke name,
Like
sir.
Silius Sodus or
Biggest
Biggest
Dickus.
Dickus. That's right.
Well, I have a very great friend in Rome named Big
And they're
Dickus.
off. From there, you think a lesser group would have just dropped it, But no, they double down like 3 times, and they bring him. Not only do they talk about him, he appears.
Yes, in the second time.
In the second season,
yes.
in the second portion season, and then he ends up. Let me be a citizen. We have something that you see. Of course, he's got his own speech
A
impediment,
whole different speech impediment.
which of course you couldn't get away with today because
No, it's another one of those things that
it's sacred cows that have risen to their own.
And on the one hand, as a general rule, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show you the brilliance of these guys that they could do this without truly being insulting.
Because they're making fun of people in power. Because Biggest Dickus,
they're not making fun of people with speech impediments or
that's
those who
brilliant.
want to be Loretta instead of Stan.
That's right. They're making fun of the concept and the fact that just because these people have power does not mean they are not flawed.
Right. And
that is always a winner.
and in dealing with Stan/Loretta, really most of the jokes are about the people who are trying to understand it and deal with it. Not so much about him.
And can't.
And can't.
And that's where it lands.
Everybody puts their toga on the same way.
I don't. That's right. That's right.
But the people in power, they still put their toga on the same way you do. Don't be so impressed.
And that's because Pontius Pilate still has speech impediments, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and just because you're not supposed to question it doesn't mean you don't still.
Yeah.
That's why.
I mean, I think that's the central lesson of Monty Python is question shit.
Yeah.
Do it with some humor, but don't be afraid to question things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's very true.
That's a good way
Especially if the question is, what's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Well, is that an African or European swallow?
I don't know that.
That's right. That's a good place for us to end on this. I mean,
yes.
we could talk for a long, long time, but I think this is a good little, at least.
I believe
flavor.
Martin has a question for you.
Oh, yes.
What is next time?
We're going to do Code of
Francis,
Honor.
what's up?
That's right. Yeah, because you've missed that recently, and I appreciate that. That's right. I'm happy to be able to fulfill my duty. That's right. Throw them to the floor, please. That's what we do here. And I'm
Roughly?
Absolutely. Awfully so. I was hoping that next time we're going to do a Code of Honor, and it's Robert's turn because we're here in Studio R. And as of breakfast, which he and I had earlier, he had not picked a quote.
I had not picked a quote, but also, I mean, me, I don't really prepare too much ahead of time. I usually do have a quote before now, but we were talking about, do we want to do old school? Because you guys don't have quotes.
I don't have anything.
No, I much prefer the one quote.
All right.
I think it's.
I'll have something by the time we start.
We'll go one quote. Robert's genius is on display, and we will go deep with that episode next time. So be here.
We hope you enjoyed another pointless discussion of eternal questions. Remember, new episodes drop every second and fourth Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern, just in time for your morning commute. And every fifth Friday, we drop a special Hoopajube episode. Spread the word we are on all the major platforms, and leave us a review. That helps others find us. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as our website, snakesandotters.com. Join us next time, same snake time, same otter channel.